up with you, man? Listen, been doing a little deep diving into this Ryan Clark situation at ESPN. And I did a little research on ESPN. And one aspect of ESPN was the brother, rest in peace, Stuart Scott. Um, and he doesn't get the credit. They'll give an award to him and stuff, but he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He basically saved the network. Anybody who was familiar with it, you watched this. The ESPN had filed bankruptcy. They had terrible in a cable network landscape of competing for the youth and the sports fan. ESPN was not doing well at all. They were not. Now, what BT, MTV, these networks grew from the rubble. I mean, they grew tremendously. They grew ridiculously. They grew. I'm sure they, just music video. Actually, they created the whole aspect of a video laid out to a optical, montage of images and lights and people is basically expressing what the song they made was about. They open it up. Well, let's just talk about ESPN. I'm telling you, because you had your Sports Illustrated. We done got away from print media altogether because of this internet stuff and digital media. But you had your Sports Illustrated. You had your magazines, and basically the sports media was some old, retired. If they were NFL, 99%, it was hardly any NBA, but some ex washed up quarterback. Normally, it was a dude who was a backup to a backup. He wasn't even a good quarterback. He may have had a run of 4 games, or maybe he won a playoff game, and you would hear about that constantly. Who does the sports? Meet, you fill in the blank. Meet so and so, and he would do local sports, and it would be some dude who played for some team, and he did a good run. He had about 3 games, and he talked about being in the pros and but he wasn't the start. He wasn't a Super Bowl. He wasn't no MVP player. He was just a regular dude. And he had his own delivery, his own style, right? Not my thing. Not at all, not my thing. So when you had Stewart come on here, all of a sudden his style, he started going after the youth. He started going after a different segment. He had got away from, look, we're done with these old baseball guys who want to sit around talking about Bruce, was it Babe Ruth and man, I forgot the other guy. We're done with those guys because that's where the sports was sort of leaning toward, the older white males. He said, we're gonna deal with these youth. So he started to incorporate a lot of the hip hop, not, and see, this is why I'm talking about him. He knew the balance. He knew where he was. He understood the point. He understood they wanted a mass appeal. He understood that. He understood he wanted the masses to watch his sports, the network, but his show. He wanted that. So he knew that he couldn't go too far with it, but he went with it just a little bit. He would spice up his commentary just a little bit. He had a little swag to it. Put the music on, show the highlights, and he really, really built that network. He went above the call of duty, and ESPN had filed for bankruptcy, and it was the year they hired him. I think they filed for bankruptcy. He came in, and look at ESPN, $3 billion purchase of the NFL network, $3 billion. This man amassed a king's ransom. He never was the highest paid personality there. He was the most popular one. And he set the tone for what would follow. He built ESPN. This guy, I saw the guy with the glasses. I don't even know his name. Come on, man. I ain't got no problem with that dude, man. Make your money. The brother, he got a bald head and them eyeglasses on. I ain't got no problem with him. This ain't no hating over here. We don't hate over here. But no, he ain't no Stuart Scott, man. He don't have that. I get it. The glasses, the bald head, the persona. And if you like him, you like him. I was anyhow. There was a period of time where I watched that, and watching them a couple of times because I keep up with sports. It was okay, but I'm telling you, it got boring. That whole eyeglasses with the bald head in a suit. Yeah, I stopped watching. I said, man, I don't like that. That is not. I'll go online, find me a sports website, and I'll catch up on my sport. I go to ESPN, catch up right there. Go look at some YouTube, huh? Isn't that what we're doing now? So, but Stuart Scott built that network, a black man. And I make that point. It's possible for a black man to go into mainstream America and help himself as he helps this company. Now, I'm not that familiar with him. Did he ever do any racial roundtables? I'm not that familiar with him. I would think not. Um, what he did was he was an advocate for the sports athlete, and he's also was able to deliver. He was able to deliver these athletes into homes traditionally where they weren't welcome in a way where he did not upset the racial balance. He didn't upset it. And he was one of the main figures with Jordan. You want to talk about somebody, if Jordan on his court built the Bulls and the NBA, he built Jordan. He brought Jordan into America in a way other people couldn't do it. And it was very successful. And I bring up the Ryan thing because I get Ryan and I got no problem with Ryan. I know a lot of people do, and I get what he's trying to do. I get what Ryan's trying to do, but they're not going to buy that. White society, they're not going to. What Ryan is pushing, and I get it, and he's very correct. And you should be honest. But is the country ready for that? And that's what I'm being serious. When he looks at a Pat McAfee who's about to get $60 million a year or more, he's fired. And somebody was talking about he got rehired. Nah, this is not the same job. He's fired, making $2 million a year. They asked him to come in. We want you, Ryan. We want you to give your opinion. He comes in. He gives an honest perspective, his perspective. Rex Ryan, all those guys, when they give their perspective, I trust them that they're being honest. So when you buy a Ryan, when you put a guy like Ryan Clark out there, what do you expect him to do? You want him to lie. And see, now we're getting into the whole step and fetch, uh, black man's burden. The black man's burden, he's got to still fit into American society. Now, we're talking about a poem, Black Man's Burden. This thing was written in 1903. This is nothing new. These are no new situations. We're talking about a poem, Black man in 1903. This was what, Jim Crow? 1903. Let me read this poem right here. H.T. Johnson. He wrote a follow-up to another poem called The White Man's Burden. And then you'll know, you say, I never heard of it. Well, why would you hear about it? This is a poem written in 1904 called The Black Man's Burden. It was aimed at society. It was, I don't even know the literacy rate of black people back then. Let me see. This thing's pretty long. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, it's religious. Let me see if I can make it through it. 1904, Black Man's Burden. It says, "Pile on the black man's burden, 'tis nearest at our door. Why heed long bleeding Cuba or dark Hawaiian shore? Halt ye your fearless armies, which menace feeble folks who fight with clubs and arrows and broke your rifle smoke." Now, he wasn't a big fan of colonization. "Pile on the black man's burden, his wail with laughter drown. You sealed the red man's problem," that would be the Indian. "Now deal with the brown. In vain you seek to end it with bullets, blood, or death." And it goes on. Let me see, because I'm really not getting into this. Yeah, okay. And it's a lot, it's real spiritual in here. And he's challenging the nation. He's challenging the nation to be fair. He was challenging the nation to be fair to a black man. Ryan Clark. Now, let me back up. I'm not Ryan Clark. I am not Ryan Clark, nor do I long to be Ryan Clark. I just wouldn't have handled things the way he did it. Some of his takes, they were rough. They were rough. Some of the way he came. Look, I'm not a big fan of Pat McAfee. But whatever Pat McAfee's doing, it's working. But me, now, I'm not a fan of Pat McAfee. I mean, I'm amazed he has so much clout, given that he's a punter. But yeah, I'm not. I mean, he's all right. And what I do is I turn it off. I don't go after the people. If I don't like them, I just turn it off. But from as a black man, I watched Ryan Clark, and I saw he was stepping on a lot of toes. I said, man, them people don't want to deal with no truth. And so that's one thing about sports, right? Especially if you wager every now and then, right? At the casinos legally, right? They don't deal with that book. They don't deal with what you think. They could care less about what you think. That casino, you're not gonna get you got a losing ticket, bro. They don't care what you think. It's wins or losses. So when you look at these personalities and they're just running their mouths, you can accuse College Game Day of that. And yeah, that's just a fun show. The NFL Network, that NFL in the that's just for fun. That's just entertainment. That ain't really about sports. That's the joy of the sport. Hey, we're gonna bring in somebody at so and so's training camp. We got this personality from Detroit, some player. He had a good year. How'd you gonna do? What do you think about this year? Just saying nothing, not really talking about nothing. That's what that's the whole point of that show. Same thing with Game Day, which I have now. They kept going to Jackson. They kept following Dion, that's a whole different subject, right? But that's what Game Day. You're not going to really get no information on Game Day. If you're trying to break down a team, you're trying to tear two teams apart to see which team is going to bring home the money. You're not going to get that on no Game Day. You're not going to get that on no NFL, Fox Sunday Sport. You're not going to get those shows. So those shows they're just promotional agencies for the sports clubs. That's all they are. They're not meant to give out information. They're just meant for you to say, hey, we're at this tailgate in Alabama, and all the people out, yeah, we're getting ready for this Alabama LSU game. And yeah, I get it. It makes a lot of money, and that's what the people want to see. But when you say a Ryan Clark, and it's possible he's been lied to, and somebody sits in front of him and says, man, we want you. What do you mean? We want you. We want what you bring. We want you to put that out there in front of those mics into the world. I think a black man has to think about that, because he has to say, do they really want me to tell the truth? Because I'll be stepping on toes. Do you really want me to tell you who's the best players? Because you look around and say, well, wait a minute. Do you really want me to tell the truth? And I think that's a burden. And I sort of feel for Ryan Clark, because we're on the verge of watching a man get $70, $80 million a year. He was a punter. According to Peyton Manning, they're not football players, but he was a punter. This man is trying to feed his family. He played in the NFL. He has a perspective, and he sort of represents a black man's perspective, and that becomes a black man's burden. Because let's be for real, nobody wants to hear that. They don't want to hear that, man. They don't. They don't want to hear that. They don't, Ryan. They don't want to hear your perspectives. They got rid of what Jamil Hill. They, all of these black people they get rid of, and they, well, the people they going in on Stephen A. But let me just say something. Stephen A's never been what you guys want him to be. Stephen A. Smith's never been a black man. He just never came in. Yeah, he tries to spice it up with a suit, and he has that loud mouth, but that's never really been him. Even when you look at the guys who's come through there, even with the Shaq and Barkley, what do you think they're doing? You think they're performing for black people? No, they're not. Who do you think watches the NBA? Who do you think goes to the NBA? Man, did you see the playoff tickets? Man, the NBA makes so much money. It's scary. What's it take going? A ticket. They sold out a ticket, $3,000 a seat. A ticket. Now, we're not even talking about the TV money. And I think, didn't they just do it? They did a deal, I think, with China, $300 million. Bro, they got so much money in the NFL. They want to present that as a package. They don't want you to talk about, don't bring up, they're going to tell him, they're going to tell you, they're going to look at you. They look at a Shaq. They know Shaq's pretty much. Dude, should I stop? I shouldn't keep talking, right? They know what they get with Shaq. What is Shaq, 15 years old for the last 40 years? Well, you got Shaq, you got Barkley. We already know Barkley's. And then you got the one guy, really, Kenny Smith. And if you can stomach those two, you'll get some legitimate basketball knowledge from Kenny Smith. And then you got Ernie, right? And you got that, and that team sales. That is what people want. But when you say, I see Chris Webber, he ain't there. When you say a Chris Webber, when you say, what's the guy, Jalen Rose, he ain't there. They ran him up out of there, right? When you start talking about these black men who, for whatever reason, think the networks want a black man's true perspective, they get fired. Because that ain't really what they want. They want you to sauce it up. Hey, I need to talk to you for a minute. Isn't that you're walking down the hall? Hey, yeah. Next thing you know, yeah, vice president needs to talk to you. 11 o'clock. You okay? Yeah, make some time. Need to see you upstairs. And they tell the guy they don't like what he's been presenting. They basically tell him, listen, the race talk. What do you mean? We're really a sports network. And actually my dad, he marched with King. My dad was in the civil rights movement. Let me tell you something. My dad, or my granddad married a colored woman. So I'm with you, but I don't know if society's ready for you. And you look at Ryan Clark, he's saying, ready for what? I don't know if society's ready to hear a black man, lay it out the way you lay it out. I'm telling the truth. Yeah, but you're coming off a little bit angry. How? I'm not doing anything Pat McAfee's not doing. I mean, is he angry? Yeah, but you're I don't know what to tell you, Ryan. I don't know what to tell you guys, and all them guys. But we're gonna have to let you go. And this is the black man. Now you say, and we keep saying we've made so many changes. 1904, Black Man's Burden was written. 1904, Black man was talking about America's hypocrisy. You're colonizing all of these countries under the belief of freedom and justice, yet you're oppressing a whole group of blacks. You're oppressing a group right in America. Yet you're telling these other countries You're going to liberate them and you're for democracy. Yet you got your foot on the necks of blacks right here. And the guy challenged him. He challenged the country. Now, like I said, let's be honest. Ryan Clark, he's got his own style. He is who he is. We would say, did I agree with Ryan? Some of his takes. He had his own style. He has his own style. But I think every black man needs to have to deal. See, we can come on this YouTube stuff. You can see that with the Hodge twins. You see all these black people who tap dance and Bojangle, they get big. They get humongous. When they do that little tap dancing and Bojangling, that's popular. The ones that come on here and tell the truth, they're just not going to be popular. They're just not going to be well received because don't nobody want to hear that. And that's unfortunate. I'm looking at Ryan Clark, and I don't see a $65 million difference between Pat McAfee and Ryan Clark. I don't. If you fed, now look, hats off to Pat McAfee. You got clout in the game, and you know people. I think I watched Pat McAfee, and I saw Nick Saban. I said, what the hell is Nick Saban doing on Pat Mac? But he knows people. He knows people. It ain't just when you hiring Pat, you ain't just hiring Pat. This guy's an insider. He's got connections. But is there a $65 million? We're not even going to talk about Stephen A. Right, let's take him off the table. Is there a $65 million difference between him and Ryan Clark? No, it's not. They're both basically the same player. One was a punter, the other was a defensive player. I think Ryan played 13. That's a pretty long time. He's been to a lot of training camps. He understands the league. Ryan tried, and like a lot of black men before him, he failed because America's not ready for the truth. They don't want no true and I'm telling you right now, I use that. Let me tell you something, man. I think, what did they, the New York Giants, they had a Monday Night Football game. They had some guy, he had won the Division II Heisman. It was some white dude. And he had got in the game, I think, on Sunday for Chicago. And he played good. I think it was Chicago. I'm thinking Chicago. Was it Chicago? Anyhow, I'm listening to the announcers. And they was talking about this guy, and they were saying this is his first Monday night game. And what do you expect? And all the fans were saying, yeah, this guy's going to be the next big thing. I swear, man, I watched that, and I said, wait a minute. I said, that guy's going to start. And all these fans are going off that one game when the team that he was playing against, they didn't practice against him. They didn't know what his tendencies were. And they was going against a decent team too, and the line was like 5 points. And I saw that. And I literally went to the casino 2 days before. And I had to hold on to keep from passing out. I said, I got to steady myself. I couldn't believe this. I said, I don't believe this. And I watched a little bit. I've seen it before. I don't have to watch it. I said, them fans whooping him up. I said, the talking heads are making a big deal. This guy won the Division II Heisman. You going to put him against these pros? And they got a whole week of footage? And this is a good team. This is no bad team. These not guys will be making mistakes. These guys rarely make mistakes. They weren't no good. No, they weren't no great team, but they were big. They could control him. Man, they blew that team out. And I knew they was going to do that. I put my money on there. I put a big wage on there. And I went upstairs. And when it was up like 30 to 35 to like 3, fourth quarter, I went downstairs. I went straight to that ticket window. I just sat there. I wanted my money, man. I had planned. I said, I can't believe this. I said, I got so lucky. I walked, because when they make, we don't want to get into the gambling, but when they make a line, you'll be amazed what they go by. It ain't really necessarily which is the best team. It's which way the public is going. And when they hop on a team like that, the public is 90% wrong. And they start making a big deal about a guy who measured out as undrafted. When they could believe me, they put the metrics down. They know what they're doing. They say this guy's not. We ain't got to draft him. Coaches said, man, what the guy say? That guy be a tight end. I ain't bring the guy. Well, what's the Rudy movie? What's the movie? You know Rudy. You know Rudy, and the guy said, "What you gonna do with this guy?" He said, "You can have him." And he said, "You put him on practice squad." He said, "I ain't putting that guy in my backfield." And then what he wanted Rudy, what the quarterback wanted Rudy to start. In the movie, it was a black quarterback, and the team collectively said Rudy needs to get in, you know, and he needs to get in the game. He's been playing, he's been with us. He can get in a couple of plays. And that coach, go look at that coach. He walks in with his jersey and he said, yeah. He said, I want Rudy to come in for me. And he lays his jersey on the coach's desk. That coach. No. He's holding his jersey in front of the coach. He says, I want Rudy to come in for me. And that coach takes off his glasses. He said, you're All-American. You need to act like one. He said, I am. And he lays his jersey on the desk. And then here comes the lineman, right? And then all in front of the coach, they're doing that, right? And because he's saying, hey, man, I got to deal with the real world. Rudy can't play. He's a good guy in the locker room. You guys like him. He's a good guy. He's the type of guy. He's a football player. He's a teammate. He's a good practice guy. But when you say putting him on the field, he becomes a liability for me. And my job is to coach this team. And I can't put somebody on there that's a liability. And that's basically what I say that, but it was funny the way the coach, and it was a movie. It was funny the way the coach did that. And the guys later on, they put, game Rudy. What Ryan Clark delivers is a truth America's just not ready to accept. And I know that. You can't go on there telling it. You can't go on sports telling the truth. They don't want it. You don't want it. As much as you want to do that, you can't do that because they want to live in their BS. The public, they do. It's no different than the guy who's tailgating. What they talking about? They bought up Mississippi State, and how terrible. Well, no, actually, no. Their state's been good. State. That was state. State. No miss. Them two miss. Nah. I can't say them. You could say Tennessee though. Tennessee has not been the Vols. They haven't been the Tennessee Vols, and you're gonna have people out there retired. They're gonna have their tailgate. They got their RV out there. They got their wife with them. They got big grill. They're drinking a little bit. They're having a wonderful time. And they're UT. You go up to them and say, man, UT stinks. UT is a terrible team. They'll probably be a fist fight because they don't want to believe that. They do not want to believe that. They want to believe that whatever problems they have, they're going to overcome, just like magic. They do want to believe that. And when you're talking about, the sports community and with the gambling line, they make their line off of that. They said, if we put a line out here that Tennessee stinks, we won't get no Tennessee money. Let's play with these guys and say, hey, it might be a 3-point game. Tennessee, the Vols might wake up on this game. Tennessee, Georgia, which is going to be a massacre, but they're going to say, it didn't used to be like that, but it'll be a massacre this year. And people want to believe that Tennessee got a shot. What Ryan Clark has to deal with as a black man is delivering a perspective that America just don't want to deal with. And because of that, you're looking at McAfee, and that's not his style. McAfee's certainly not into and he's a white guy, but I'm saying he's not on some racial mission to cleanse the lenses. He's not. And that's a burden. You know what I'm saying? He's not saddled with a black man's burden like Ryan Clark is. He's not saddled with that. He can go in and just be an announcer. He's a punter. He can all his connections, and he's gonna get what this record amount of money. He's gonna get this record amount of money now. And let me say this, because people get this messed up. This is hey, Ryan, get 200 if you can get it, brother. I ain't got no problem with you, and neither does Ryan. Now, J.J. Watt has a problem with it, but we're not really talking about that because they've come out and said the reason these guys are getting fired and laid off is because of Stephen A. and Pat McAfee hogging all the money. But that's not what I'm talking about, because that actually goes against what we are. This is what I'm saying. That's J.J. Watt. Hey, Fox News, that's J.J. Watt. You know what that would be called, Fox News, what he just said? Do you know what they would call that when you say, hey, Stephen A., Pat, you guys getting all the money and we don't have jobs? They would call that's called socialism. You see how the hypocrisy of this stuff? And that's a white guy. That's socialism. This is capitalism. You should be able to make $50 billion. That's up to that network if they don't want to hire nobody else. And it's funny how they don't want you to be a capitalist. You know what I'm saying? Now they don't want you to be a capitalist. But anyhow, Pat McAfee, is there a $65 million difference between Pat McAfee and all of the people they got rid of? I say no. Guys say he hadn't watched ESPN since Stuart Scott died. You know what? There's no way that the descendants of Stuart Scott shouldn't get easily, at least, I'm just saying, just a gratuity. If they're spending $3 billion on the NFL, they need to give that family, the descendants of Stuart Scott, my fault, Stuart Scott. They should give the family, the survivors, easily $50 million. Just $50 million off of, hey, we appreciate everything Stuart did. We appreciate him. And if it wasn't for him, we would have went out of business. He built this network. He built this network at a time when we couldn't pay him what he deserved. But right now, we're making so much money, we want to reward this to his descendants. They need to do that. ESPN gives $50 million gratuity to the surviving members of Stuart Scott. He built the network, man. If it wasn't for him, it wouldn't be no ESPN. And one thing he didn't do, like I said, he knew his boundaries. He had mass appeal. And this was a smart brother. That's what he wanted. He did not want to go on that. He did not go to ESPN. Let's start with the basics. First of all, he was probably the best commentator as far as his delivery, his ability to create, his commentary, the way his style was. He was better. He was better than all those guys. He wasn't so imposing that his co-host was intimidated. Rich Eisen fit right well with him. He had his style, his delivery. The network listened to him. They took a lot of his ideas and they implemented them that made the network even better. That made it even better. He built ESPN, a black man. And what do they say? Just like oil, right? Isn't that what they say? The black commitment and black participation in a business, it's like extracting oil. And that's what, and I don't mean it to be negative, but a black person's participation is like they extract the oil and then they refine it and they repackage it and they sell it. And look at them now. Look at them now. Look at ESPN now. ESPN now is saying, hey, Stuart built us. And listen, I'm not saying Stuart, listen, man, I watched this stuff myself. Stuart Scott was not no type of confrontational Black Lives Matter activist type. No, he wasn't even trying to be that. but he was a cool guy. He was the guy in college that you got along with. He was just a cool dude. And to a certain degree, he didn't constitute really a race. He was just a personality that you really liked. And it worked for him. But he never got his money. He never got what he deserved either. Stephen A. Smith, you joke, $100 million. They owe the family of Stuart Scott $1 billion. Stephen A. don't deserve that much money. And I know what I just said, capitalism, you get what they pay you. I get that. But you ain't no Stuart. And but like I said, the thing you got to watch out with him, he's never been a black man. Other than he looks, the way he carries himself, he's not really been like that. But no, you can't even compare him to Stewart. And Stewart also, like I said, he really did a lot for Jordan. The way, what's they say, the MSR, right? What is that? The when the king was coming, they would send his emissary, to let everybody know he's coming. That was basically what, and I'm not saying it was planned. That's what Stewart basically came for Jordan. He was able to deliver what's considered a black style into white living rooms because it was packaged through him, because he was not perceived as an offensive Negro. And any Negro who has a grievance, you can go look at the chat. Any Negro who dares have a grievance with America is a radical Negro. Doesn't matter. You're a radical Negro. I remember when Charles Woodson won the Heisman over Peyton Manning, that week, if you said, well, man, Woodson's a good player, you're a radical. I'm so goddamn tired of you radical Negroes. What do you mean, man? They voted. He didn't win the vote. Hey, man, it was mostly white people who voted for him. Wait a minute, what are you yelling at me? This goddamn country's going to hell, you radical ass Negroes. You don't give a damn about anything we've done for you. But I thought it was supposed to be about who's the best college player. Man, he's the best damn player. Not according to I didn't want to get into it. Woo! I don't even want to get into that. Poor, and look, hats off to you, Dungy. Dungy, go smoke a cigar for me and just lay back, man, because you had to deal with Bannon. And you haven't said nothing about that. You haven't. What's the guy? The white guy got fired. He said playoffs. What's the guy? That New Orleans dude. I forgot their coach name. He said playoffs. We ain't going to no playoffs. He said you go in. And that's his job. He's the coach. Jim Mora is a Jim Mora. Yeah, Jim Mora got fired. Peyton Manning got him fired because Peyton went in the game and threw 5 interceptions. They got to understand he's the coach. And he's got his own style. Right? That's his style. He's telling the world, I didn't tell him to do that. He said, hey, listen, he's the quarterback. I didn't tell him to go out there and throw no 5 interceptions. He said, well, wait a minute. He should know better than that anyhow, period. Hey, just throw the ball out or take the sack. I didn't tell him to go do that. And he was getting pissed off. And he got fired. But these guys don't want to be blamed. These guys don't want to be blamed for being fired. I don't blame Jim. I would have said something. And Phil Fulmer, poor Phil Fulmer, we need to send him a ice pack because he had to deal with Peyton. That's, and dealing with Peyton, that's when Phil Fulmer said, Phil Fulmer is smart. See, we underestimate these guys. The guy right now dealing with Arch Manning, these guys are smart guys. They're not, they look at the field, and they know what you can and can't do. Phil Fulmer said, we're going to run the football. He said, Peyton the quarterback, okay. They don't want me to, they said, they want me to stick him out there. Okay, I'll take him out there. He's going to be running football. We're going to run football. They became a running team, bro. They said, we ain't passing no football with him. I don't trust him. And when you don't pass the football, you don't trust your quarterback. And you also guys assume that they control all of that personnel. A lot of them don't even control that. They get dealt a squad, and they have to make it win. If they don't make it win, guess who's going to get kicked out of there? The coach. But you can say, hey, we're going to run the football. And he goes, what you going to get in the draft? You got a top-notch quarterback, Peyton. What you going to get in the draft? You got a lineman? Oh, pass protect. Yeah, you got to protect Manny. We need another lineman. Okay, pass protect. But you're really getting offensive linemen to block. You really get so you can run the football. Yeah, we will run the football. And then if they ever say something on this, you tell them the truth. You don't go on the networks and say it, but you tell them, say, listen, this quarterback, we can trade him. I know everybody loves him, but I don't trust him. The way, if you want me to win, if you want me to do what you hired me to do, these are the things we got to do. And look, and Peyton's a two-time Super Bowl winner. Peyton's a good quarterback. And in his last 5 years, the Denver years, Peyton was a damn good quarterback till he got hurt. Brady was a good quarterback. Right? But no, a black man going out there, and you can do what you want to do. But do you think America wants a black man's perspective? I mean, seriously, you think America wants a guy calling out racism? You think America wants a guy on their airwaves showing America what it is, putting a mirror in front of the world's face saying this is what's wrong with the country? You think they want that? They don't want that. They do not want that. You know it and I know it. And Ryan Clark is more proof of that. And Pat McAfee, when you say mainstream and crossover, okay, that was Stuart Scott. He was those things. He was a decent quality dude, and he saved that network. But at this point in the age of Trump, they don't even want a black man on a TV show having a different take now because it's going to automatically be perceived as something that's not what it is. It's not his real view. It's not what he sees. It's some kind of way he has an agenda and he's angry and he has an axe to grind and he's got a chip on it. This guy's got a chip on his shoulder. Why are you so angry? You know, who pissed in your Cheerios? Why are you so pissed off all the time? Yeah, that's the perspective. That's what I'm saying. That's the game. And that's the game, Ronnie. You finna watch a guy get $65 million a year. And he ain't $65 million better than any of them guys. But see, he doesn't have that black man's burden. He doesn't carry that anger. He doesn't carry that grievance that's automatically going to be attached to you whenever you disagree. Period, really. Period. And is there a place? Well, Ryan, this is where you have the advantage. This is where you had the advantage. You should speak out how the black community has not built arenas or spaces for people like you who are trying to advocate for what's best and be fair. They haven't done that. They haven't done that. There's no place for you. So what happens is you wind up just being a Sambo. You wind up being a bojangling Sambo. And you wind up, afraid to speak the truth. And I don't understand that. A black man's burden. Pat McAfee, Ryan Clark, Stuart Scott. And I didn't put Stephen A up there because I don't even want he for what? I'm trying to think, Stephen. I'm just not really a fan of Stephen A. I had no problem with him, but I salute him for taking on Malika Andrews, though, and he did that at a time before really we knew what she was about. He shut her down, though. Hats off to you. But here's a way you have to do things. I get that. He probably knew. He probably had conversations with her, and he pretty much knew which way she was leaning. But with that Uduke, her trying to throw him under the bus. She said they paid him 10 years. Now they racist. You guys are going to interpret anything a black man says that goes against your narratives as racist. So it's a waste of time. I couldn't sit here and break down that because you don't want to believe. You want to believe a lie. Like I said, you are that Homer. You know Homer Simpson, right? You're a Homer. You don't even know it, but you're a Homer. You're the home team. You're the home fan. You're a Homer. You was born in Dallas. Your favorite football team's the Cowboys. Your favorite basketball team's the Mavericks. You live and die with those teams. You grew up on those teams. You're a homer. They call that a homer. So, but you're a homer for racism in the sense anything a black person says that doesn't align with the way you see the world, you're going to perceive them as being racist because you don't want to deal with the real world. And that's what's happening to Ryan Clark. And is Ryan perfect? Not close to it. A lot of his takes I don't agree with, but ESPN is doing a disservice to rob the public of a black person's perspective. And I don't know what you mean when you say qualifications. The man's got 13 years in the pros, right? He's raised a family. You never hear anything negative about the guy. But I guess, he's a little bit too brash for ESPN. And that's sad too, because it is football. He's not talking women's tennis. He's up there talking about football. It's a brutal sport. He played it. And he said, hey, I played, man. This is how, listen, you're not going to understand because you never lined up on that field. You don't know what it is to be. Right now, we got the training camp. It's hot out there, man. They just cut the Diego Pravia guy. Guys are getting cut. You got to deal with that. You have to deal with that. You see these guys picking up playbooks, talking to them. I got to call my agent, man. I got to see if I can make it to the CFL. It's a real world out there. If you're a commentator, you're inside air-conditioned spaces, being catered to, being made up like women damn near. You got a makeup artist in there puffing your face. And you sit down and start talking X's and O's. Some people are going to say, hey, man, you don't understand. You never played on the field. I get what you're saying. You sound like a fan. I'm an ex-player. I know what it's like to get out there, and I know the difference. You don't, though. And you're trying to advise him. He should, now that, like I said, I wouldn't have done that. What he did to that guy, I wouldn't have done that to that guy. I mean, them dudes are those are two football fans. Him and his NFL Network in the morning. I look at them as two football fans. I don't look at them as that's not. But then again, like I said, we already know you. You're looking for information. You're not going to find it on the NFL Network. But they don't owe Ryan. They don't owe Ryan anything. But there will be no black perspective on these networks. He says McAfee is entertaining to the. Yeah, McAfee. Yeah, the draw McAfee, because then when you say sports fan, right? When you say sports fan, what is the McAfee draw? Because certainly he has one. He certainly has one. What my interest is he has a lot of clout. He knows a lot of people. I think I seen him talking to Tom Brady. Look, let me tell you something. If I can go to ESPN and the Platinum Show, and I got Tom Brady joining me, I got Nick Saban sitting in for man. What are you talking about? I already made it. I don't have to be good. I don't have to be good, and he's got that. Now, like I said, I don't know Ryan Clark. I don't know his Rolodex. I don't know who he knows. I don't know Steven. I don't know. They're different style. But this is what you get. Hold up, let me get this out of here. Like the stream, brother. You deal with these clowns. He said there was a dozen people fired of both colors stop using race for someone's mess ups. Yeah, you don't like that, do you? Don't do you? Well, there's always going to be a component of people who refuse to acknowledge the racial history of America, the oppression, the Jim Crow. They don't want to deal with that, and they do want to move toward Negroes. And this is not to say anything about Stuart Scott, but they like a Stuart Scott type Negro because that Negro has no grievance because he doesn't express it. And that's all the same thing with the a house full of slaves. My house slaves know my heart. My house slaves know I'm a good master. No, they're just not. They're smarter. They know better than to tell you the truth because if they told you the truth, you would send them to the fields. So you see, and this is what this guy's in the chat box. They create this, and they've done it on social media. Like I said, they gravitate. Look at the black people that they gravitate to. They go to your Hodge twins. They go to the Officer Tatum's because they speak in a way that blames the black man for everything. It's his fault. Nothing he does is right. And it soothes. They massage the racism and the egos of the white supremacists, and that's where you have that problem. That's where you had that problem. Uh, um, to a certain degree, Ryan didn't massage the egos of the white supremacists when he watched sports. So he was infuriated when he listened to a Ryan Clark. I'm so sick of this race. God damn. He would throw his popcorn. I am so sick of this. And that is a problem, man. He said that's the shut up and dribble mentality. Well, what do you want him to be, though? I'm just saying, what do you want Ryan Clark to be? A cardboard cutout? You know what I'm saying? It's the black man. So the black man has to literally be a cardboard cutout. So they can have a round table and they can just have a cardboard cutout of a black man with a mic in front of him. And they can offer that, okay, we're going to go here. Okay, that's his opinion. That's his opinion. That's his opinion. And then they say, well, we don't want black man to say nothing anyhow. We really don't want his opinion. He just up here. Yeah, they might as well just put one up because they don't want him to have an opinion. And my thing has always been if the black man's opinion mirrors the white supremacist opinion, is he really giving you his opinion? Are you really getting a true independent perspective if it mirrors the white supremacist opinion? And you do have a lot of blacks in sports who do that. They do that. He said Cam. They got rid of Cam. They don't see the value in Cam. They literally saw no value in Cam. They see no value. They look at Ryan as he was too outspoken for where they was trying to go, and they're gravitating toward a Pat McAfee. So to a certain degree, and what this young generation, what they want, more power to them. But I'm pretty much done with ESPN anyhow. I don't. And then we gonna go down here and talk about no Shannon Sharp. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. I don't know what's out there. The sports media, Shannon Sharp, not my cup of tea at all. And one of the reasons he's not is too much Shannon Sharp. I don't want to listen and hear a bio of him every show. Bro, we get it. Can you talk about the topic, brother? Well, I played in Denver. I don't want to hear that. And Shannon, I don't really think he was a good player like that. He was a big, massive man, and you overpowered a lot of dudes. And you had a career, man, but I don't want to hear about it. And then you look at a Russell Wilson. You look at all of these great players. Look at a Barry Sanders. Look at a guy like Barry Sanders. Man, Barry Sanders is one of the greatest running backs ever. Period. He ain't got no ego. That ain't his thing. He ain't got no ego. He ain't got no social media. He on social media trying to do sports. He don't do that. He lives within his means. They put him on Madden cover. He didn't even want to promote it. He didn't want to promote it. He just didn't want to promote it. That's not his thing, man. He's not an in front of the camera guy. Greatest player. If he wanted to with that ego, he could be clowning. This is not his thing, man. Just not his thing. And people are different. Now, Shannon, that is his thing. So go and do your thing, man. They should hire a guy like a Barry Sanders. But then what happens when you hire a Barry Sanders? Look at who he's sitting next to. You got an NFL Hall of Famer, a Barry Sanders, who played for a horrific team. You start talking about played for a bad coach. Man, come on, man. I'm finished. Barry Sanders never played for a decent coach. He never had a quality quarterback. Now, were they just like track? No, I'm not saying that. But they weren't no great quarterbacks. He never had a great team. Barry Sanders was the team. Literally was the team. And they did. They got him a few linemen. They had to get him some linemen. And they would kept getting beat by Green Bay. They would get beat. They finally make it to the playoffs. And they would get destroyed because the team would just focus on him. They said, don't even worry about the wide receivers. He said, I want everybody, whichever way Barry goes, that's where we go. We'll take our chances with the rest of those guys. And they managed to win. They beat him. And he's retired. And he stays out of the limelight. It was funny. He was at a game and he was in the press box. And you got to be familiar with Barry Sanders, right? He's in the press box and you can see him. And the announcer, you know how the announcers go and they'll say, okay, we're joined by so-and-so, whatever celebrity or whatever. And he's sitting in the press box and they put it on there and the guy's still talking about something. And Barry notices he's on the big screen. You can see him. He noticed that they put him on the big screen. And while the guy was saying, Barry Sanders walks away from the window where you can't see him. And I said, man, this guy right here, Barry Sanders, like, man, I don't put me on no big screen, man. Hey, man, I don't want to get in front of no mic. Don't talk to me. I'm going to come in here and do this. I used to play football. I'm done with it. Leave me alone. And I'm saying it's refreshing to see guys, especially in this age, with all of these clowns and all of these guys hopping out here with all these ex-players hopping out here with these podcasts. It's refreshing to see a Barry Sanders guy. A guy who is an excellent player but doesn't have an ego, who has both feet planted on the ground. It's great, man. And the community does not support the guy in the way they should. You know, the black community is just, this is what you get, man. This is what you get. This is what you're going to get. When you don't have anything, this is what you're going to get. The Ryan Clarks have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to go. So, and it forces the next group or generation to come in with the Bojangling. They got to be minstrel. So now they got to be a minstrel. They got to come in and tap toe and we're going to ask this former player, this analyst never played. Oh, and let's get to this black guy. Well, you know what? We've been talking, all of us been talking. Why don't you just tap dance? Because it would be more, and we don't care about your opinion. Why don't you just tap dance a little bit? And then we'll go to the commercial. They might as well just do it that way because they don't want to hear what these guys got to say. They really don't. He said Ryan Clark telling those players from the South. I didn't see that. Ryan Clark telling those players from the South to not go to those big schools was the straw that broke the camel's back. I didn't even know he was doing that. Wow, that's what I'm saying. He was bold, man. But I know he knew that that was a timeline on that. If he's up there doing that, yeah, they're not gonna let him do that. And all is well, man. Even though they've reshaped and diluted the black vote, that the black vote don't matter. You can't vote for who you want, and the the legislators control everything, right? So blacks are going to be literally at the mercy of the person over the district, right? They don't care. I want to talk about it now. Hey, we took care of that. Let's get out here and play football. And now they said we're gonna get these Negroes out of these national spotlights because they try to take that and they might use that to help the other Negroes. And they got them out. They got rid of them. And this is what I mean. And this is what so many people don't know. You guys don't know America back with 80, 83, 84, when Stuart Scott ruled America. You don't even know that, do you? We were not this racially polarized country we are now. We weren't. We weren't about that at all. At all. Not even close to that. What it's become now, we were not those things. He said Ryan had 4 or 5 incidents. It was bound to happen eventually. I'm not familiar with any incidents he had. Said curse will come down on here like Egypt, a plague. You think so? And where ESPN, I'm gonna tell you where you made your mistake. If you would have had more Ryan Clarks, if you would have had more outspoken black personalities, getting rid of one of them wouldn't have mattered. But because you don't have any, getting rid of Ryan, it shows like a spotlight. And let me say this to the future. If they do go that way, get someone who really is. And Stephen Smith, I mean, he's doing shows with Cameron. See, we just different people, man. I think that when you go with the rappers, it sort of solidifies a racist perspective of black people anyhow. But I don't think Steven cares about this. I don't think that matters to him. When you take a Ryan Clark, you have no place for Ryan Clark, but you say, well, we're gonna bring in Cameron, ex rapper. You have to wonder, what is the network trying to? What are they doing? What image and what is the point? Are they trying to say that the 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 Ryan Clarks don't really represent a black perspective, a professional man, 13 years, qualified, knows how to conduct himself, versus a rapper? If you go and listen to some of the lyrics, you scratch your head. That's the person that represents the black or represents society, a rapper. That's not playing the white racism. If Stephen A did a show with Big Meech, would that be representing, like, hey, I'm Stephen A. I'm not like that, but I'm gonna ask Big Meech who's gonna win the college football national championship. Yeah, they don't want a Ryan Clark. There's really no place for him. And that's just the reality. There's no place for a Ryan Clark. It's just not a guy like that. Any guy who says he's going to be a man and he's going to stand on business, he's not going to be working for a major network. They're just not going to let that happen. They're just not going to let that happen. They're going to get rid of you. Like the stream, man. Hit the cash app, man. Support the platform, man. We trying to do this right here. We trying to get this done. Yeah, that's sad, man. It's the truth, man. If you laying in the bed with your wife, you just had a kid born, the black man's burden. They say, okay, I'll be working for, I'm going to be doing sports. They do have to make a decision. Well, do you want to tell the truth? Because you know these people don't want to hear the truth. And he said, I got my kid, man, my wife. I'm just gonna go in there and go along and get along and play the game so I can have a future. Because I really want to do this. But yeah, so unfortunately for Ryan, this is the end result of what he was doing. And it's gonna label him woke. I see that woke and be I don't know. So if you disagree with racism, you woke. If you disagree with it, you woke. If you complain about it, you woke. Well, they said Charlie Kirk dropped out of college or something like. He went to a community college, and he had a conversation about the hold up, what's the Supreme Court justice? Let me go look her up. And it's so sad that we used to be a country that respected qualifications and stuff. We don't do that anymore. We don't have no respect. Let me just talk about her educational background, which is just ridiculous. Of was it Justice Jackson? Let's go see. Charlie Kirk had criticism of her, even alluded she may be unqualified. And this woman, right? This woman went to Harvard, graduated magna cum laude with a degree in government in 92. She attended Harvard Law School, served as the editor of the Harvard Law Review, earned her JD cum laude in 1996. This is Charlie Kirk. No, hold up. Hold up. Charlie Kirk challenged her. Charlie fucking Kirk, man. Charlie Kirk, hold up. This is when we talk about racism and white supremacy and giving something who don't deserve something, giving somebody something. Charlie Kirk, let's go look at Charlie Kirk's background because Charlie Kirk's the one who brought it up. Charlie Kirk's education. Let's go look at his background. Charlie said that she wasn't qualified. Charlie Kirk's education. Charlie Kirk was raised in Chicago. I'm looking it up right here. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. It says Donald Trump. It says Charlie Kirk, media personality, co-founded Turning Point. They got his assassination. Okay. What's his educational background? Conservative politics. Now I'm looking all over here. Oh, he went to Wheeling High School, volunteered for a Senate campaign of Mark Kirk, began listening to Rush Limbaugh, initiated a boycott of cookies at the school's cafeteria, standing against a price increase, wrote for Breitbart. They finally get to his education, right? He applied to West Point and was rejected. He enrolled at Harper's College, a community college in Illinois, withdrawn after one semester. And see, one right there, that's a lot of times people will do that just to get that money, that Pell Grant. You enroll, you go about 1 or 2 days or 5 a week, and you stop coming, but you got all that money. So I mean, I'm not saying that he did that, but I'm saying when somebody tells me they went, but they never really went. A lot of times it's because of that. And this guy was talking about, we talking about white and black in America. This guy was talking about Justice Jackson, and I get it. Okay, I get it. You don't like her politics, but she's not supposed to be political. But he questioned her qualifications, and it's like, bro, you went to Harper College. You didn't even go. You didn't even go a whole. You didn't finish. And all of this, you worked on this political campaign. This person, this man. You listen to Rush Limbaugh. That makes you qualified. If you see a black pilot, they're not qualified. Once again, the victim and make it black and race. They do it all the time. They do it all the time. Yet the black person, if they dare be so bold to bring it up, their grievance, they're a grievance person. Oh man, you'll see the problem, man. You can work here, but you keep bringing up the race, man. You bring it up. But see, that's the problem. See, you don't want to just. We just want to talk about football. Man, it's a crazy world, man. And we see it up front now, man. Pat McAfee on his way to a record contract, and Ryan Clark no longer needed, no longer necessary. And the actual network was built by the contributions of a black man. Isn't that crazy? Somebody was talking about Jack Daniels, right? Jack Daniels, black man created that recipe. That was, you never know it though, right? You never know it, right? Bro, we are messed. We so ate to the bone. We so ate up with this stuff, man. I don't know what's going to happen. So they hate the truth, how they get in their feelings about this. Do you really think only blacks were slaves? Exactly, Clark's a dumbass. Stop the color narrative. I got you, man. I got you. Blacks were only slaves as we know it from transatlantic slavery and how they were indentured. It wasn't the way you're trying to make it. Family were slaves, born into slavery, died in slavery. You could buy your freedom and then get thrown back into slavery, which meant you still had to be a slave. You couldn't get thrown back into slavery and say, hey, I'm a free man. You didn't get a chance to put that out there.
What's up?
What's up, man?
About to help my partner move into his new place, little apartment, but yeah, just chilling out. But yeah, man, I put in the chat, yeah, he Ryan Clark, and back when they had the little deal, the little controversy with them players a couple months ago. About a month, he been telling all the players in the South not to sign NIL deals and not to go to them big schools, go to
Mhm.
the other schools and stuff. I said, yeah,
You agree with
that's
that?
good.
Do you think they should be going to those schools?
Um, Not if they want to go to the league, but if they really want to be some social justice warrior, they go back to the black colleges. But they're not going to turn down that money. No, three
Well,
and
yeah.
four million.
Well, hold
That's
up.
not that's not their problem. Well, go ahead.
I didn't say go to HBCU.
That's what he was saying. Though, instead of going to
Well,
those
yeah,
big
see that right there.
schools.
That's what I mean. Like I said, we don't agree on a lot. I wouldn't say go to no HBCU. I would say go to USC or go to Ohio State or go to Indiana. I say
Yeah,
that in a minute. Don't go to the SEC. I'd say that in a heartbeat. But no, I wouldn't tell no great running back
yeah,
Alabama to go play for Grambling. I wouldn't do that. No.
yeah. He was it's not all, not everybody, but if you get enough of them, that'll turn the tide. That's what he was trying to say. Not 100%, but if you get like a good 30, 40%, that'll do some damage to them college because they make a boatload of money in the South with college. College football is big, damn near bigger than the NFL in the South. So yeah, I knew, and all that stuff connected the sports and ESPN, and you say something that trip and throw the money off, they gonna get rid of you. But that's what I said. We talked about this a few days ago. He had a nice little run. But I didn't know Cam was working for ESPN though. Cam Newton. I didn't know he was. I thought he had his podcast. I didn't know he was part of ESPN.
Is
But
Cameron a reoccurring guest on Stephen A. Smith?
Cam Newton.
Cameron, the
Oh, the
rapper.
rapper. Oh no, they got him and Mace got the podcast too, but they got their own thing. They got their own little thing, but they just
Did you know that? Did you know he goes on? I think First Take.
yeah, he do. They pay what they do. They pay people, or if he pays whoever come on his.
Eric, I don't even know why we do this. Eric, please just follow me. He's been coming on First Take on Stephen A.
Okay,
Smith's show.
okay.
Is he a reoccurring guest?
If
Do
he
you know?
keeps on,
Or you don't. You don't know. So you don't know. I don't know either. That's why I
if
was
he
asking.
keeps on coming on, yeah. If you keep coming on once or
Why?
twice a
Okay. Well,
week,
my thing is
yeah.
why is ESPN comfortable with him, but they're not comfortable with Ryan Clark?
Because Ryan Clark is their employee. Cameron and them is not. They got their own thing. That's what I was trying to tell you. I think him and Mace did like a $20 million deal or something like that,
Hmm.
and they'll
Hmm.
bring on Adrian Broner. They'll bring on like a rapper. Or
Are
bring
we
on.
talking about their show or are we talking about Stephen A. show?
We talking about ESPN, Ryan Clark, right?
We're not talking about what Mason Cameron do. I said Cameron is on their show.
Okay,
What
why
they
you bring him
do
up?
because he's been on ESPN.
Okay.
I know what they do. I mean, whatever they do, I'm saying I don't understand why they don't have a problem with him, but they got a problem with Ryan Clark. I don't understand that.
Well, I mean, they got a hot show, so they're gonna bring on people who got like popularity to bring that crowd because ESPN got floundering ratings, so they're gonna bring on because he got the hip hop crowd. They got a big platform. They're gonna need people to come back. Oh, that's it's a strategy, man. You know, whoever's hot and popular at the time, and that's what they're gonna lean towards. Whatever's hot and popular, or they bring
If
more eyes on them. That's all.
do you think it was a bad idea for Ryan to be talking like race on that network?
No, it was because you're not gonna be there forever, so you might as well get it out. I don't think it was. I think this time was up, and had a nice little run, almost 10 years. You can't beat that.
Hmm.
And they made you money. You're not, and they were smart. They got their own podcast too, so that crowd he gonna still be saying the same things, and he gonna explain what happened. You know, they gonna ask him in the next episode. That's what I'm waiting on. He can do his own interview. Them guys gonna interview him, Channing and Fred Taylor. And he gonna get to the bottom of it. He gonna say what he think, and he gonna say what he feel about ESP, and that's gonna be it. So it ain't gonna be the end of it. Not for right now, just because he got fired.
Yeah, but I
So
think it sends a message though to black men that they're not going to tolerate your disrespect. And what would be the disrespect? You thinking that you're going to be treated like a man. You'll be treated like a boy. You will not be treated like a man. You'll be treated like a boy. You just here really for entertainment. You're not here to be trying to break things down or we don't care about your perspective. And that's what I'm saying. That's what the message they're sending to me. That's the message that they're saying. They don't want a Ryan Clark who has the nerve to think that he's going to be treated like a man and stand up for himself. They don't like that. They don't like that. Hey, like he said, the whole chat. You look at him, racial grievance. Um, what's that? Race baiter. Yeah, and we've moved a long way, man, in this society. We used to be we weren't fair, but we were fairer. We were not fair, but this is what you get.
yeah, but it's too much. It's too many people with their own thing now, so it's not really hurting nobody no more.
It's they making money though. They got enough money to pay Stephen A. 100 million. They finna pay Pat McAfee a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, I never knew what was so. He had his own show a while back, but I never knew. See guys like that, guys who like to cosplay. He got like a. He be up there, he like dancing and acting like he got a little black scent and all that, and they'll them white dudes like that. They'll kind of accept him a little bit more. But
Mm-hmm.
he ain't no studious white type of white guy. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that clashing back and forth with the players and the non-players, that has a lot to do with it too, because they're supposed to be the intellectuals who supposed to know everything, and you're not supposed to question them about criticizing players and how they play, even though they never threw a football, tackled nobody, scored a touchdown. A lot of that stuff too, a lot of politics too. So that's pretty much. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think they should move on. Like like Skip, when he talk about you would think Skip done played in football, baseball, and basketball, but Skip ain't never played a game before. He's a failed athlete. So
Yeah, well, I mean, Skip said some stuff I like, some stuff
yeah,
I don't like. You
and
know,
and and it used to be a time where them guys only could go like in the locker rooms, and the players would clown them and all that. But now they got more power than the real ex players. You think about it.
they can.
Yeah, they used to have
No,
to
no,
sit out the
they.
locker room and wait to the players and get the players permission to talk to them. It used to be like that back in the day. Now they on camera now. You remember
Well,
that?
they can. It just depends. It just depends. The players, if you want to, you can be. You got social media now, and it also depends on what you say. So you can get drafted into the NBA, and within the respects of the team and the league, you can go out. You can have a social media account and give your perspective out. So they
Hmm.
can have more power than you, but if you know what you're doing, they won't have more power than you.
Yeah, yeah. Them used to be the dudes. Yeah, I remember Dion would beat one of them. Dion Barry Bonds. He used to beat the throw water on them guys and climb. I mean, them guys used to be the running jokes. But but
You
yeah,
know,
man, what's going
Well,
on?
Dion hurt himself when he did that, though.
No, I
A
ain't
lot
really
of
no.
people, a lot of people didn't like. Well, first of all, a lot of people didn't like Dion. Do you
That's
realize
true.
that?
That's true. You're right.
Okay, they didn't like that whole. A lot of black people didn't like Dion.
Yeah.
They didn't like all of them chains on his neck. They didn't like that wet Jerry curl. They didn't like it.
yeah, Dion was a very polarizing figure.
Yeah, he did
Uh,
look crazy as hell when he was doing that press conference in the '80s. He looked like MC Hammer with all the.
And a lot of black people didn't like that image going out for the world to see. They didn't like Dion.
Yeah,
And so you saying throwing the water? Yeah, he could play sports and all of that, but they didn't like him. A lot of black people didn't like him throwing water on that white man. They didn't like that.
yeah, but them guys, you out there on the field killing yourself. You got to keep on, just like his. They take a lot of that stuff out on his son
Well,
too.
then don't play sports.
But I'm saying no.
No,
But
no, you're not saying anything. Don't play sports.
yeah,
You
but
sound, you sound. That's ridiculous what you're saying. Then don't play sports. You don't like being criticized. Don't play sports. Simple as that. You don't like what he said. Don't play sports. You
they don't
don't
get that.
dump. You don't
They,
dump water on the man. No, a lot of people didn't like. See, we're in a different. We in 2026 with Trump churning up racism and hatred amongst Americans.
no, I'm saying.
Decent people didn't like Dion throwing water on the man. They thought it was inappropriate to do that. They didn't like the way Dion carried himself. They didn't like that. When you look at a Michael Jordan, right? Right? We look at a Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't have no chains on his neck.
Yeah, but Michael
Michael
Jordan.
Jordan disagreed with a whole lot. Michael Jordan had Ahmad Rashad come in and damn near be his spokesman. Jordan didn't do interviews like that. And when people wrote stuff that Jordan didn't like, he left them alone. He just went and put it. He kept it on the court. That's how. And he didn't. When you saw him, he was in a suit. He carried himself as a traditional business American man. He didn't do that. He had no chains and stuff on there. He didn't do that.
That's true, but you had a balance. You always had a balance, though. Everybody wasn't like Dion. You had the quiet players, you had the good guys like Ken Griffey, and You had a lot of Barry, like you said, Barry Sanders, the quiet, good guys who never got in any trouble. But you had some dudes who wasn't going for it, and a lot of dudes.
What you're not making, you're making, you
Dion
listen,
wasn't
listen,
he wasn't the
listen to me. No,
majority.
no, no, brother, but you got to understand that's not being a rebel like that is the wrong way to be. You don't. I get what you're saying. That ain't how you do it. You don't
Yeah,
do it like that. You don't say, "Hey, I'm gonna assault someone who said something negative about me in the media." First of all, they ain't nothing but old media person. Who are they to assault?
yeah,
Uh,
but the rep.
I'm gonna send a message. They can't say nothing about that. It's not how the world works, man.
So let me ask you a
That's
question,
hold up.
Plant.
That's ghetto shit.
I got you, but let me
Hold
ask
up,
you.
and I'm telling you, we talking about Stuart Smith. I mean Stuart Scott. We talking about Ryan Clark. See, that's why black men are gonna be run out of places because see that type of uh, um, projection that you going if you get mad, you're gonna use your fist.
Uh,
People ain't gonna want to deal with you, man. People
yeah,
don't have time for that. They don't have time for none of that. They say something you don't like. Okay, you don't like what they say what you got to say. But when I see them, I'm gonna dump water on their head. A lot of people didn't like Dion doing that.
that's true. But you talk about the rebels in sports, like the rebels, usually got the most like popularity, and people love the rebel. Like you compare like a Jordan and a Allen Iverson. Who you think people like more? The culture.
People like Jordan more, dude.
Yeah, Jordan, way more.
No,
Well, that
I
sounds
think people like.
crazy to say that.
I mean, listen, I think Jordan did like with the shoes. He changed it, but I think as far as like a person you can hang out with, chill out with, I think Allen Iverson with the younger crowd.
I'd rather hang out
Uh,
with Jordan. I would rather hang
Yeah,
out with
Dude,
Jordan.
Allen
because
Iverson wants
you've
to hang
heard.
out with Jordan over himself, bro.
Listen, you've heard.
See,
Okay,
no, 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 no,
listen.
no, no. You
Let
guys
me say this real quick.
Let me say, no, no, no. You guys romanticize
Okay.
the hood. You guys love to do that. And I don't know
Yes.
how much you are a part of it, Eric. But anybody who's been in that shit ain't cool, man.
We're not talking about the hood. We just talking
No,
about the
you done said
culture. All
Iverson.
right.
That stuff, he almost lost his chance to go
All
to the
right.
NBA with that hood shit. He
Okay.
almost lost his opportunity because of that.
All
You're
right.
trying to mask it off like, well,
No.
Island's a cool hang. I don't want to hang out with nobody
You
with
said Jordan.
Hey,
gun,
hey, hey,
gun
the
Hold
truth.
on.
tracks and
You
all that.
just said
I don't want to be
Jordan with
around it.
suits. How the Jordan teammates? Nobody really liked Jordan like that. His teammates didn't like him. The Celtics, the Pistons, nobody liked Jordan like that. The damn rappers, when he talked, nobody really cared for him as a person. Nothing but a bunch of negativity is what you. Oh, you didn't know he was
But
that
they
bad till he
honored
left
him
the
as a
NBA. Hold on
symbol,
one
bro.
second, sir. You don't know how bad he was to after 2000 when he left the league. This guy wasn't a good guy. His teammates said he was verbally abusive. He punching people. So he did this thing. He just covered it up, and this is proven facts. So even Scottie Pippen didn't really care for him that much. So it's easy to
Well, no, he
no, no, no,
did.
no. This is truth.
Scottie Pippen's not telling the truth.
Oh my God.
That was now they were boys back in the day. They were cool, and now I guess the money has
It's the
shown up.
last
Now all of a
dance
sudden,
that got
now
him
he
pissed
trying.
off.
Yeah, okay, there, that. But now, Scott. Now the rest of them guys, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, that's
He
what I'm
probably
saying.
was punching those guys. He probably was doing that to
He
them.
beat up
Hey,
Steve
it's
Kerr.
a
Not
lot of
yeah.
He
it's a
But
probably
lot
I'm
of
saying,
athletes.
but on the outside, he looks like you said. He looked well polished and he looked professional, but he's really a scumbag in real life. But you don't hear people talking about like Iverson that bad at all. I've never heard of one person. Everybody say we grew up watching you. We try to do the braids. We choose everything, crossover, all that. But you never heard nobody even saying it's the way that they can make you look better than what you really are. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead.
go ahead,
Well,
Hutch.
no, what I was gonna say on Jordan is like, yeah, there is a reputation as far as playing with him. If you weren't helping him win, dude, he was not your friend. He was not your friend in that basketball on that basketball team. It was all business, and that's how he was. And
But that's the way. No, no, no. First of all, that's how the
yeah,
NFL's like that right now.
yeah.
And
So
right
it's a
now we speak, they just started training camp. Them guys don't know each other like that.
yeah, it's a lot of
You got
players
you
like that.
they're come the NFL, all these sports leagues are like that. These dudes are returning from their vacation or whatever, the downtime. They're returning. They probably haven't even seen each other till now. Them dudes are not what you don't. That's a business. That's like a job. It's a job. Do you take the people you work with home with you? Most people don't.
No, when you tell kids you ain't taking no pictures with niggas and all that, and all, when they ask you for a picture, that's not a no. That ain't got nothing to do with no teammates. When the
Well, look,
kids
I
when
mean,
you when
well,
you
hold up, but no. What you're
ain't no
ignoring is that,
excusing that one.
actually, I don't know about excuse it, but you act like black people don't act that way.
No, this
So I'm saying,
Jordan.
Hey,
no,
This is
Jordan,
Jordan,
hey,
no, Jordan wasn't the first.
worldwide number one
Jordan
on
ain't no
athlete of
first.
all
on
time. No
Jordan,
Jordan.
I know
excuse.
there are plenty of rich black people that, as you say, they don't deal with quote unquote, as you say, niggas. Plenty of them. But you
Well,
want to pin it on Jordan. See, you guys ain't been around money.
You don't tell
hey,
kids
here,
that though. You don't
Oh,
tell that to
hold on,
kids.
hold on, hold
bro,
on, hold on, brother.
bro, this
On,
is ridiculous. This guy
with
right
Jordan,
here.
with
This,
Jordan, with Jordan, if he was minding his own business, he's probably not going to take a picture with you. But Jordan would make a lot of events where he actually did do things with hood kids. I got a homie from Ida B. Wells that got pictures with Jordan.
No, what
mhm.
You know what I'm
Jordan
saying?
did, Chris
Yeah. So,
Paul, LeBron. No, they would do
uh,
camps.
uh,
Jordan
brother,
would come.
brother,
He'll
I'm
give
gonna
him a
say,
pair of shoes, and he that wasn't him. That was LeBron and Chris Paul them camps and the
brother,
other players who signed to him with Jordan
okay.
brand. But
So
go
what?
ahead.
Jordan is a wealthy dude. Hold up. You think you take a picture with Jay-Z?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you
You
catch
out
him
of
in
your
New York,
fucking bro. You
yeah.
know what? You know what? You done lost your mind.
Look it up on YouTube. It's a
You
thousand
can't
videos.
take no picture with no Jay-Z. He ain't gonna take no picture with you, bro.
Jay Z
He,
be
hold on,
when
hold on.
Jay
I
Z
don't
come out
care
his
about
office,
what he. I don't care what
20
he
people
projects.
standing outside every night. He
Hold up.
signed
I
everybody
don't care.
autograph.
I
Go ahead,
don't
go ahead.
care what he projects. Okay. You ain't gonna take no picture with no Jay Z, and you certainly ain't gonna get nowhere near his wife. You think that's what I'm saying? You saying this about Jordan? All these that's just wealthy people. You don't get no picture with no damn Donald Trump.
No, we talk you.
These people are not gonna. If y'all paths cross, you might have a moment
Yeah.
where they got some
hey,
downtime, but no, like coming up to them. Oh, uh that's Don. There go Trump Jr. over there at that. They're getting ready to fly out to go
Yeah.
somewhere. They're over there. It's Don Jr. over there. You're not gonna get over there, man. You can go over there and talk to 15 people. They're gonna stop you before you meet them. Oh, I like to take a picture or whatever. He probably ain't gonna do it. More than likely, he won't.
Yeah, I'm just saying though. You just like
that,
you were talking about Jordan. They polished him up nice, but you thought
Jordan didn't do nothing wrong, man. Look, you
no,
want
he
me to
didn't.
talk? Well, hold on. When I criticize Jordan, I criticize Jordan fairly.
okay. I'm just saying,
Okay,
but
I
they keep
talk about him as far as trying to be a whatever owner or whatever he was trying to do, team prep, whatever he was trying to do when he was trying to create a
oh,
team and all of that draft and all of that and his failures there. I talk about him fairly,
no,
but
he
coming
was
up,
trying to get half of the Wizards, and they said they
all them
fired
do.
him.
And Alvin Allison, like, ain't none of. Let me tell you something, bro. None of them rich. Right, we can do it right now.
It's, hey,
If
you
I
know what?
walked into a room right now with Boston Celtics,
I'll be back.
Detroit Pistons, they're not going to let me take no picture with them. They don't know me.
Right.
They're going to say, we good, bro. Nah, man, not today, man.
Exactly. Now the thing is that when they talk about Jordan, they talk about his teammates. His teammates was his teammates. That wasn't his friends. But if you talk about, his friends talk to him, talk about Jordan, that's like Charles Barkley or Magic Johnson or, them guys, they got a whole different stories about how Jordan was. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the people that, even like Larry Bird, he would talk to those guys. He would talk to guys like with Kobe Bryant, he would talk to Kobe. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference between
Kobe didn't mess with none of them.
Kobe, man. If Kobe wouldn't even talk to you if you wasn't even a producer on his team, he wouldn't even talk to you.
Yeah, he
You're
didn't
like,
talk to his team. I mean, Kobe
yeah,
was worse than he talking about Jordan. Kobe was worse than Jordan.
way worse than Jordan.
Kobe would run around there, get on BET, he'll date Brandy. He'll go to the whatever Source Awards. He'll have on his sneakers and his chain. Bro, I'm
Yep.
telling you, you're not gonna come nowhere near no Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I heard stories about Kobe taking his kid to school, man. And he was like, man, don't even go and try to talk to him because he's not going to talk to you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, people know that. People know that
they
from the
knew
fact.
it.
And he blows out. He'll let them know. He'll let them know he don't care about no security. But you ain't gonna be coming here be like, yo, man, listen, I get it, but I'm here to pick up my kid.
Yep.
I've seen plenty of. I've been in the mall with NBA players shopping with their girls. right there, right there.
Yep.
But no, I don't know him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. They just
Run up to him to do what? Hey
right.
man, I seen you on. Everybody seen me on the court. Immediately they're gonna say not security them, but they only gonna have 2, 3 um, hood dudes with them. They're gonna have 2 or 3 of them guys with them for protection.
Yes, sir.
So when you start walking up to them, they're gonna see you coming. They're gonna say, "What's up, man? Oh no, man, he just shopping, man. So let me now, man. I already talked to him, man. He said, plus he ain't gonna say, he really don't want to be the bother. They don't do
Exactly.
that. So he's saying that that's a bad thing, and Jordan did.
Nah,
No, that ain't. That's what they all do.
they ain't on
They
the
do.
clock. Hey, when they off the clock, you know what I'm saying? When they on their own time, they not messing with the public like that, man. They just out trying to live their life.
I think they're ruder to black people. I think they're ruder.
Man, man. Hey, but speaking of like, since we back on the black people thing, I wanted to talk about the Ryan Clark thing, if you don't mind, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Hey, so man, I was looking at the whole thing with ESPN. I thought the same thing that you was thinking, you know, when I first seen that. But I had to look into it because they let go. ESPN let go quite a few personalities this year, and from what I'm seeing, I don't know if it's quite, you know, a racial divide, but I think it is in terms of the style of the commentators that they have, the personalities. Ryan Clark is like a more serious, like he's an Emmy award winning like journalist, like, you know, sports journalist. You know what I'm saying? So, and what they're doing, I think they're going to these more radical personalities, man. They want more like Stephen A. Smith style, you know, type guys, man. Like the podcast, loose, wild take, you know, crazy viral statement type cast members now, because I think what they are trying to do is they're trying to compete with these guys that are going independent, and you know, keep a lot of that draw that those guys are getting, you know, like the Shannon Sharps and all those guys are getting on their own. They're trying to bring that back to the network, but own it. You know what I'm saying? Own those type of personalities. So that's where I think they're cutting bait on a lot of these guys, these real guys that are more buttoned up journalists, even if they get out of pocket every once in a
Mhm,
while and
mhm.
confrontational, but they're too, like, you know, on the nose with their analysis, man. They want that viral, that wild, like, man, you know, Steve be saying some dumb, crazy, wild stuff sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I think that's where ESPN is trying to go and capture that trend that's coming. So I don't know if now could there be some, you know, he could have ruffled some feathers around the way, because they're not letting all these guys go. They still got some of them, like, you know, those standardized, you know, stock reporters that are there. But he's a big dollar figure. You know, they could say I could get the same thing for a lesser charge, but I could go ahead and get a bigger, a wilder personality, maybe catch somebody come on the way up, save some money on them, and then still own that whole content and make them a big platform by and then cut like a Ryan Clark, who's getting a big old paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And replace him with
Mhm.
kind of like the standard background guys, man. I think it's really just a business move, man, honestly.
I
But
know, but do you think Ryan McAfee's $65 million better than Ryan Clark?
no, actually, I don't. But I think their styles are different, though. You get what I'm? That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
And I think that they're just trying to get that particular type of style in their different shows, but not have them all on the same show. But if you think about like who knows the games better, like who knows sports better, man,
Mhm.
yeah, Ryan Clark, dog. He understands it, dog. He knows these
So they
sports.
don't really want. They don't even want it. This ain't really about knowing the game. It's about who the public likes the most. It's a popularity contest.
It's kind of like a popularity contest, man. They looking at trying to run numbers, and they don't even care if the analysis is on point, man. They want them wild takes. They want those hot mic takes. You know what I'm saying? Like that crazy wild stuff that's going on out there. You know what I'm saying? So they're not looking for accurate sports knowledge journalism right now, man. They're looking for just viral moments. That's what they're looking for, man. And it's kind of sexual sports.
Yeah, people just don't want the truth, man. We live in a world where nobody wants the truth.
Yeah.
And that's a black man's burden, because a black man has to figure out, how do I handle this? Do I tell the truth, or do I just go along so I can keep a paycheck coming in?
Yeah, and that's the sad part about it, man. It's like we throwing away a very well skilled, well versed, sharp individual for just some trash, man. Like just some.
Yeah,
it's like man, it's like throwing away the healthy food. I'm just gonna eat potato chips, man. Screw it. Man.
Yeah, and when you talk NFL, there could be a quarterback, right, in the NFL, and he's struggling, and you can go in and say, well, he needs some wide receivers. The coaching sucks, defense sucks, whatever. You say that about any of them. You can say that about any of them. Rarely do they really say that about the black ones. The black ones stink. They shouldn't even be. No. They shouldn't even be quarterbacks. The NFL has an agenda. This is DEI. The NFL is too woke. White quarterback. We need some wide receivers. We need a defense. We need a running back. They're great. They're great quarterback. We need A. We need B. We need C. And I said, well, why don't they do the same thing to the other guys? They don't do that to the other guys. And then when you have a black guy like Ryan Clark, see, he's going to highlight that. They don't want to hear that.
No, that's true.
They don't want to hear it. Look at the guy in Houston right now, C.J. Stroud. Look at him. They already said, he does, he did that again. He does. I don't know what happens. He spazzes out or whatever, and starts throwing picks. He'll go from no picks and all of a sudden throwing picks. They're talking about him not being a good quarterback. I said, well, who, him?
Whoa, but he a Heisman? Like, did he what a Heisman do?
I said, wait a minute, I don't know about that. Like I said, it's C.J. Stroud. He's overrated, and what have they done? And I said, but then they'll turn around and tell you Brock Purdy is a franchise. And I said, wait a minute.
Man. Hey, man, that San Francisco squad was stacked up, dog. And then when you have, you had one of the best running backs in the game when he came in, when Brock Purdy came in on San Francisco. Man, dude, he's opening up the pass game right there just by having
and Brock don't throw the ball that. What about it? See, when Brock Purdy played at Iowa State, he didn't throw the ball down the field. You're talking about a guy they only want you to throw within a 15-yard window. The coach set it up. Well, look, don't worry about it. If the defense moves this way, they're gonna double this guy up. Your tight end's wide open. If the defense moves this way, your running back's wide open. Yeah, so they moved the chains. He wasn't good at Iowa State, but I'm saying he was able to do that. San Francisco bring that in and said, we're gonna keep you within a 15-yard window. And the guys, because he knows how to craft his offense, so he gets in there and he said, man, this guy's great. He don't throw the ball down the field, though.
That's a good point. Hey, because, I wonder how many of those completed passes actually went to McAfee. You know what I'm saying? Because McAfee was killing when Brock Purdy first came on board there, man. Cause on that Super Bowl run, man, that's, to me, dude, McAfee was the best running back in the league, and he could catch too.
McCaffrey's got a lot of speed. I don't know about now, but he's got a lot of speed that people underestimate, and he's quick. He's quick with speed,
right?
So he can change direction, and then he can beat you because he can get around you.
Man,
and he'll put his head down. He'll run over you, but that's not really his game, running over you. But it's getting that crease, and he's gone. You can't catch him.
Man, I mean, he was one of that championship run they made when they went to the Super Bowl, but they lost. Dude, that year, That guy was the best running back in the league, in my opinion, by far. You know what I'm saying? And then if you toss it to him, man, he gonna turn a backfield pass into like 15 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what's that? He's traded now. I think he's been gone about 2 years. The big for 49ers, the big guy. It used to be a big. I don't know if I think it was wide receiver or tight end. He was a big dominant guy. Damn, I forgot his name. I think he's been cut. But my point was this: if you can get him the football, it don't matter. He's gonna turn it up. You can't tackle him. What's his name? You know, the
was it
49.
George Kittle? Was it Kittle?
No, it was before Kittle. He was there with him, but he was a big, like 85 or something like that. Big, strong. He was, what was his name?
Kittle was 85.
You couldn't tackle him.
Yeah.
You couldn't tackle him. No. If you got him the football 7 yards down the field behind like the linebackers, the defenders couldn't. You can't tackle. He's too strong and fast.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
Let's see. Who was it? It wasn't Kittle.
I can't remember his name. Black guy. He played. Remember when Colin Kaepernick? He was a major part of Colin Kaepernick and Harbaugh.
Okay.
With the 49ers.
That was
Vernon Davis. Thank you. Vernon Davis. You can't tackle Vernon Davis. If you can get Vernon Davis in a defensive, if you can get him away from the linebackers.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you throw the ball to him on a wide receiver screen and stuff, he's gonna get tackled. He's just, but if you can get him just 7 yards, and maybe you got one linebacker, you can't stop him. And that's what Purdy was doing. And I was like, man, Purdy get the ball. And I said, this Vernon. Then he would do that. Vernon would catch it. Then he would turn around and go left. And you could see all those guys getting blocked and making arm tackles, and he'll just running right through it, touchdown.
And
up until I think he got hurt or something. But up
speaking
until
of
then,
that,
and Brock, hold up, and that's Brock's game. Brock can find him all day. And really, Brock, if you think about it, Brock hadn't been bad or looking bad since Vernon's got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. And and I'm like, and that's the one thing that people overlook when it comes to like rating a quarterback, right? That's like like if you had a great receiver like a Jerry Rice or Terrell Owens or man, I just had his damn name in there. Man, who was that? Damn, I just had his name. Man, just a great receiver out there, and you just throw it up, and he gonna come down with the ball anyway. You know what I'm saying? That ain't necessarily the quarterback that's great out there. Sometimes you got the right receiver core. It doesn't matter who's the quarterback. So you just got to get the ball in the vicinity, man. So people overlook that a lot.
Oh yeah, you build you when you build a team, and a lot of it's the fit. It's the fit. When you say remember the Bengals, Blake right. was a backup. The Bengals put him in because of the way he played in college and the way he sees the field. He saw that his wide receivers were open.
Right.
And so a lot of times they call a play, but he back up and he looked and he said, damn, wait a minute. That guy's open. He sling that thing, deep balls. Touchdown.
Right.
Touchdown. Cincinnati don't throw deep. No, I'm saying whoever he replaced, the quarterback that got hurt and he replaced him, he didn't throw deep, but Blake could throw deep. And those guys were strong and those guys were fast and they were open.
Yep.
So he started slinging that football.
Yep.
Throwing deep all day. Because, he could still make the little short throws, but he saw the whole field. So when you say Brock Purdy don't really see the whole field. He's not bad.
No, he's decent.
We play this game. The NFL's not that off. When they do that, when they evaluate talent, the NFL know if you're good or not.
No, for
So
sure.
if they drafting you in the 6th and 7th or undrafted, you're just not that good. I know your ego says you are.
Of course.
But believe me, if you was good, they would have drafted. They don't make money. They don't stay in business by overlooking draft picks. You're not good.
Yep. And then on top of it, like they know their system as well too. They
Yep.
know who's going to fit in their system. So like some quarterbacks or some players, you'd be like, man, I can't believe they picked up that one. But it, in the overall draft scheme of things, but in their system, it works out very well. And you'll be surprised. Like sometimes you'll see like certain players that have come out of nowhere and just be great. You're like, man, how is this guy like killing like that? I didn't even hear about this dude. It's that system. He just fits in well. Do you remember like when Brett Favre and Green Bay were just killing, right? You know what I'm saying? All them lateral passes and stuff they were doing, man, just the system and the line that they had, man, was just designed in such a way that their running backs, like it didn't even almost matter. Like if you had a certain type of running back they could catch, man, they gonna get like 5 yards a play. You know what I'm saying, on a lateral pass, and it made and it was really a combination of the right players in that particular system. But if you took that running back, you put them on another team, nah, they gonna struggle, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because
So
you're asking them to play in a scheme that doesn't highlight them the way they need to be highlighted.
exactly.
Now hold up, and that would be that's a lot of those players. So you're right. When they get the money and they go to a team, they're no good, and then they get hurt, and then just like Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill should have stayed
Yep.
in
And
Kansas City, but he wanted Kansas City to meet the money. He should have stayed there. Why? The way Andy Reid knows how to write up offenses for him, he knows how to clear out the safety. He knows how to do it. That frees him up. But he wanted the money. He went to Miami, and look at him. He
Right.
blew his knee out. It's been a disaster since he's been there.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you have the other side of it. You have the freakazoid players, right? You got the Randy Moss. It doesn't matter what team you put Randy Moss on. You know what I'm saying? Just throw the ball his way. It doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? So, then you got those kind of guys, man. So it's like, those are the rare players that you could just put them anywhere and they gonna make a difference in your team like instantly, like or like a Megatron or like some of these guys is like those guys are going to be impact players no matter where they at. They gonna get their stats, they gonna get their numbers, and it ain't gonna matter. They don't need to have a particular scheme, so they're just gonna dominate. So everybody thinks they're that player until they're not. Till they get that.
They do, and a lot of them are not that player. And when you do sports, the problem with sports, because I get it, it's a lot of money in it. Like I said, it's billions of dollars, and you got fans and people want the homers. They want their home team to win. You're a homer. You grew up. You was born in Georgia. You love the Bulldogs. You love the Falcons. You love the Hawks. You're a homer.
Mm-hmm.
You're a homer. You want your team to win. You get transferred out. You wind up working out in Nebraska. Good job, but it's home. It's centered out in Nebraska. That's where you live now. You're raising a family, but you're a Falcons fan. You're a homer. You're a homer.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to deal with that. A homer don't want nobody to tell him his home team's going to lose. They don't want nobody to tell him your home team ain't got a shot because they're homers. And that's the whole thing with the Homer Simpson, the character. Yeah, that's what he is, Homer Simpson. He's a homer.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. Shoot, man. But hey, man, I'm gonna have to, pull the plug on it, man. But I want to just chime in for a second, man. It's good chopping it up with you, and I'll catch you on the next one, man. It's a great topic.
I got you.
All right, brother.
Like the stream, man. Support the platform, man. We got the join link posted. We'll take your thoughts. Ryan Clark, did he even have a chance? You know, a black man in this world, this society. He's a man. He says, okay, why can't I tell the truth? Pat McAfee in this world, this society. There's a thirst in the sense for what McAfee brings because, you know, people don't want to hear what Ryan Clark's got to say. They don't want to hear it. They're saying, Ryan, you're rich. What are you complaining about? Ryan, you're rich. What are you complaining about? You're a rich man, Ryan. I mean, come on. Why you want to represent? And then he says, well, I'm just giving you my opinion and my thoughts. And they said, well, Ryan, you're on the pivot. How come ain't got no white people on there? Where's the white guy on the pivot, Ryan? Pat McAfee's our pivot. Yeah. And you know, and the thing is, you do have to deal with that. Pat McAfee's our pivot. Go down there and tell those Negroes what they want to hear. You pandering to them. Don't do it over here. So all of that stuff you do have to take into consideration. You know, Ryan, I think Ryan would be better without the pivot. Nothing against them brothers down there, but I think Ryan, this should be something for Ryan to start his own thing. Ryan don't need them. You don't need them, bro. You don't need no ensemble. You just don't need it. You can do it on your own. And that's another thing as a black man. Take chances, man. Pat McAfee didn't drag. Now he interviews those guys, but he didn't drag Eli and Peyton with him. They doing their thing too, but he went out there and started his own thing. He don't have a bunch of people with him. So there is some criticism for Ryan. That's criticism because of what you're not doing. You need to go out here and start your own thing, man. Go out here and start your own podcast, just you. Bring in people just like Pat and speak on whatever you want to speak on, politics, sports, or whatever. In 5 years from now, challenge ESPN to regret what they did. When you're more popular than the network and they're trying to get you to come back, you challenge them and say, well, no, you made a mistake. And there's a certain comfort zone when you have co-host. You should see, that's what I'm saying. You can't win with that. You got to walk away from the comfort zone. And then you got to take your rightful place where you belong. And if what you're saying is what you say it is, believe me, the people will come. And I do think there should be some modifications. You know, I mean, America's not ready for just an outspoken black man like that. There should be, now, I'm not talking about become a Sambo, but there's some modifications that have to be made. So Ryan was stating Strager never played in sports, so he had no experience. That's in the terms of a casual fans. Well, that was the truth, like I said, but is America ready for the truth? Most of these people have never played sports. They're sports fans. You got people right now who have a wealth of knowledge. Man, let me tell you something. I can go talk to a white guy. He'll tell you he's a Jordan fan. That man will tell you what Jordan did at North Carolina, how many minutes he played, when they played this team, how he played. He knows it already. He knows it. He'll tell you everything he did at the Bulls. There are plenty of white guys who have basketball knowledge. And yeah, when you say that, well, you never played, that's going to make them, they're going to look at that as offensive because they love the game. They love basketball. They love it and they don't want to change it. Like the stream, man. Ryan never had a chance, bro. And Ryan, right now, he's watching Pat McAfee get these $1 million deals, something they'll never offer him. And it's not about knowing something, it's about being popular. Ryan, a black man with an opinion, a black man who's a man. Does America even want that type of perspective? They don't. They don't. They don't want that. And Ryan got caught up in a situation where, like a lot of black people, he had to choose to what are you going to do? You're going to Bojangle and Sambo? You're going to ignore the plight of your people? You're going to ignore racism and the injustice your people suffer? Are you going to ignore? And then you do get to your Pharaoh. You do get back to your biblical situation of Moses. You know, you could say Ryan Clark is the Moses of ESPN. When he saw injustice, he spoke on it. And for that, he was punished. Unfairly punished. Set out into the desert 40 years, Ryan Clark. And this is a sign to you, Ryan, to deal with what you got to deal with, man. You don't have to sit there and let them people tell you what you can and can't do. Go do it. This is the age of the internet now, man. Go do it. You don't need to pivot. Get you a podcast starter, Ryan Clark today. And speak your mind. Now, don't get political though. Know what I'm saying? Don't get Democratic or Republican. Just tell the truth. Tell the truth. And the people, what's this? What's the movie? Build it, they'll come. The people will come. The people will come. And you'll get the brand deals. You'll get the people that's going to reach out to you. You'll get where you're trying to go. But you can't do it hiding on the pivot. Gotta let the pivot people go. I saw something doing HBCU. Man, I'm sorry, Brian. You're better than that. No disrespect to them. That's for somebody. What you finna do for HBCU, that's for somebody that's on the Breakfast Club. That's not for you. You're much better than that, brother. You're way above that. But if you don't want to accept your rightful place, then this is what you'll see. Say he should have went into coaching. Yeah, he could have. Isn't he the guy who I think he's the guy who blew the coverage on that Tim Tebow who could barely play. Tim Tebow who could barely play football. But is a great guy. Listen, let me tell you something. Tim Tebow, see, this is what we play these games. We get on these YouTube channels and we play these games. Tim Tebow, that's my neighbor. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the type of guy you want next door to you. I'm serious. When you walk out, getting ready to go to work, you look over and there's Tim Tebow getting ready, putting his kids in the car. You're like, hey, Tim. Yeah, Tim Tebow is a wonderful guy, man. Excellent guy, but he just wasn't a good football player. Is it when he threw that touchdown in the beat the Pittsburgh Steelers? I think Ryan was the one. If you watch that, you'll see a player that gets pushed back and then is running behind. I think that was Ryan Clark. He blew that coverage. Ryan blew that coverage in that game, man. It caused Pittsburgh a playoff position. And that was a good team. That was a Super Bowl team, but you saying that wasn't so that wasn't Ryan? I could have swore that was Ryan. Okay. We got somebody in the chat said that wasn't Ryan. That was who was that? Somebody blew that coverage. They got cooked. They got cooked. You sure? I think it was Ryan. You sure that wasn't Ryan? Because I looked it up. You probably in here. Okay, I got it. I looked it up, man. You say, okay. What's up with you do business?
Yeah, what's good with you, Black?
What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in for a minute. Yeah, I've been watching it, a few clips or whatever, or finding out a little something about this story. I mean, as far as like for the Ryan Clark and Cam Newton thing, I mean, a lot of times when certain dudes get ESPN jobs, and they're not really gonna be there long anyway. You know what I'm saying? I mean, ESPN got a core group of people that they actually like to work with, such like a Stephen A. Smith or you know, I guess people like Kendrick Perkins and stuff like that. I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with racism or nothing like that. It's just a lot of times when they sign certain people, they just bring them on for certain reasons, to get ratings up, to get views up, and they are former players, so they'll be all right. Just like Marcus Spears, dude who used to play with the Cowboys, you don't really see him on there no more. It's like they only bring certain people on television for certain reasons. I mean, and as far as like Cam, Cam pretty much got his own thing going on. He's got a couple of shows he be doing, so I don't really think it's no big deal. But if someone think that this was because of racism, you're sadly mistaken. Whoever you are, it ain't got to do with no racism, man. It's just ESPN, bro. They do that all the time, man.
Well, how come they ain't doing that to Pat McAfee?
Well, Pat McAfee actually, he got his own show, and he just they just put him on ESPN. He's not even on the regular ESPN. He on the ESPN, the other I guess ESPN too. So Pat McAfee has his own show, so he doesn't work for he's not a sports analyst like Stephen A. Smith. So that ain't even got nothing to do with Pat McAfee. That's a separate thing. He got his own thing going on. So it is what it is with that.
Is Pat McAfee $65 million more better than Ryan Clark?
I don't know how much Pat McAfee worth. I mean, I really don't care. But what I'm saying is that if, like I said, if someone think this is about racism, dog, it's like, dude.
Okay, really? But brother, you're saying that he's $65 million better than Ryan Clark. That's what you're saying.
I didn't say that.
You are saying it. You're saying it because you're saying Pat McAfee having a show, being on that network, and Ryan Clark getting fired, that he's more valuable to the network, $65 million more valuable. And I just don't understand that.
That's not what I said, Platinum. I said that when it comes to certain people that work for the actual sports center that people watch every day, a lot of people that get that job are not going to be there long anyway. You see what I'm saying? They always recycle people because you got to understand ESPN had a scandal at one point in time where they had to fire a whole lot of people for sexual harassment charges and accusations and people employees sleeping with each other. So they taking a different approach. You see what I'm saying?
Well, Ryan is not like that.
I understand what you're saying, but like I said, Ryan Clark is a millionaire and he got the
wait a minute. So can a black man? So Ryan Clark sees the world through the views, through the eyeballs of a black man. Can a black man make it with black man's eyeballs? Do you have to have Pat McAfee eyeballs?
This ain't got nothing to do with no Pat McAfee, man.
Yes, it does. Pat McAfee sees the world through white man's eyeballs. So you're telling me because of that, Ryan Clark has to be punished? He has a burden?
The dude is not being. I just told you, ESPN is recycling people. I'm trying to tell you, man. They had to fire all kinds of people, including white people that used to work for the network. They had to fire Donovan McNabb, Warren Sapp, some white lady, some white dude. They had to fire a whole lot of people because people was kicking it with each other in a way that they shouldn't have been doing on the job. They should have been doing it off the job. You understand what I'm saying, Platinum? So they recycling people. Stephen A. Smith already signed a deal with Sports Center, so he's gonna be there. And then they got this other dude, Paul Feinbaum or something like that. He's a regular on there because they talk college football. They already have certain people that are gonna be there. But like I said, people like Cam Newton, he They wasn't gonna sign Cam Newton to no 5 or 6 year deal to be on Sports Center. Nah, man, it's not happening, bro.
You don't think that Ryan Clark has a
Or
carries
Ryan
a
Clark.
you don't think Ryan Clark has a racial burden or a racial baggage that a Pat McAfee doesn't have? You don't think that?
Nah, man. I'm gonna say this again, bro. Pat McAfee has his own show with his own crew. He's just on ESPN, man. He just broadcasts on ESPN. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That's just like the other dude, the white dude that be on FS1 or some Paul Coward. They got their own shows, man.
Come on, Colin Coward.
Yeah, whatever his name is. Yeah, Colin Coward. Yeah, that's right, Colin Coward. They got their own shows. It's just like Joy Taylor, right? You remember when Joy Taylor was on the Skip and Shannon show? When she started acting a fool, I saw it live. Shannon Sharp was just joking around with it. And she was like, "Don't age me" and all that. Next thing you know, she was gone the next day. Go over there with Colin Coward. And then next thing you know, she went out to do her own thing and all this kind of stuff. So it's like either you can do the job or you can't do the job. Either you're going to make the cut or you're not going to make the cut. It ain't got nothing to do with no racism or somebody trying to be biased about you or telling the truth. I mean, Ryan Clark, I mean, he seemed like a pretty dude, but a pretty good dude, but he ain't no, he's not Stephen A. Smith, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I'm
he's
just
not.
keeping it 100.
Okay, so
He's not Stephen A.
he's not.
Smith, man. Nah, dog.
What about? Do you remember Stuart Scott?
Right.
Do you remember him?
Yeah, Stuart Scott was a very entertaining person. Very entertaining dude. He used to have Sports Center, you know, him and Chris Berman. Yeah, They used to have it popping, man.
Okay, so he basically saved the network. They filed for bankruptcy, and they hired him, and he took that network from not making any money to making money. They started making a profit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stuart Scott was the man. Yeah, Stuart Scott was all right, man.
He was a black
They
man.
ain't had no problem with him.
But no, he was a black man, and he was well received in white households. So he was a unique entity during that time. And then you have a evolution of networks gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you have different personalities. You got Stephen A. You like Stephen A. For whatever reason you like him. But anyhow, you got Ryan Clark. He comes on there, and I get it. He's a 13-year veteran. He's a proud black man. His perspective is a little bit different than most. Normally, guys like Ryan Clark are never allowed to get to those places where you're in front of a microphone in front of a nationwide audience. But he got it.
What
no, he got it.
I'm trying to see like what's so different about Ryan Clark. I mean, I've seen him on Sports Center.
He's a black man, brother, with a black man's burden of telling the truth. Does he want to go in there and sambo and tap toe and tap dance for the white man's approval, or does he want to break that shit down, lay the cards out, wherever they lead, they lead, and that's what he does, and it pisses people off because they want to deal with the truth.
What truth are you talking about, and who's he pissing off? Platinum, I don't know what I don't know what you're looking at or what you're seeing. I mean, Ryan Clark just used to do sports commentary on TV, just like anybody else that does it. And what I'm trying to tell you is those jobs are not guaranteed to anyone unless you sign a contract that guarantees you're going to be there for 5 or 10 years. But he wasn't going to be there long anyway, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you understand how that business works. That ain't got nothing to do with no racism. Man, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either.
How to think, man,
I don't know either. Do business. I don't know.
Everything ain't about race, man.
We both.
Bro.
Debo Samuels. We both don't know.
Debo Samuels.
No, I know that's to a question. And I think it's Debo because I had to go look it up, but we disagree. I think that Ryan Clark was a man. I don't look at it as a black man. I look at it as a man who saw who wanted to speak the truth, and he knew that if he was
So
out,
what did he say, Platinum?
if he knew that if he spoke the truth, there would be a price to pay. And he watched a Pat McAfee who has no black man's burden. He has no black grievance. He doesn't see the world the same way Ryan Clark sees it. He knew that he would fit in better. And despite that Ryan's a better commentator, he would not be as popular because this society don't want to hear the truth. They want the black man to bojangle and tap dance.
That's what I'm asking. What truths did Ryan Clark like? Did he say a particular thing? Like what are you talking about?
He cut the pie down the middle, and in the process, he told the truth about racism in sports.
Okay. So if what you're saying is true, he said something very controversial that got him fired. Well, you got to understand that you cannot talk like that if that's what you're talking about. Like he came across like some pro-black type dude. Man, ain't nobody trying to hear that on no ESPN. So if that's what he did to get his job, to get fired, then yeah, you already know they're gonna get ready for that, man. Ain't no Malcolm X gonna be on no sports center talking, no sports, man. Don't nobody want to hear that, man. If you want to talk this stuff on your own platform, you can do that. But most people that's watching Sports Center ain't trying to hear about no politics, man.
And you don't want to hear that either, right? Do business?
No, I didn't say that. I'm talking about people on TV.
No, I'm talking about you. I'm saying when you're ready to watch you some sports, you don't want to hear that, right?
Look, Sports Center really ain't popping like that for real, man. I mean, I like it for the highlights. And like I said, Stephen A. Smith, I mean, he's just a spokesperson, but I ain't even really on Sports Center like that. They got other sports platforms that I enjoy, but it's really not that many of them. Like if I'm watching sports, and like I said, it's really for the highlights of the games. But what I'm trying to tell you is that when you're on national television, you have to carry yourself a certain way, man.
But I'm saying
that radical stuff, man.
I got you. So when I'm saying you do business when you watch sports or whatever, you don't want to hear some Negro in there bringing up this racial incident, this injustice, or just overall disgruntled about the world, right? You don't want to see it either, right? And he borged out, man. He borged out. He don't want to see it either. He don't want to see that, man. The Negro don't want to see the truth. The Negro don't want to see the truth. The Negro, he'll whine about mistreatment, but he don't want nobody on there trying to represent his position, or he'll whine about it, though. He'll whine about white supremacy and racism, but he wants somebody to get up there and bojangle and sambo and sell out for him. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. That's what he prefers. And Ryan Clark is a victim. Ryan Clark is a victim. He's a victim, and he's got a black man's burden, and that's every black man out there. How are you going to do it? Are you going to tell the truth? Are you going to be let my people go? Are you going to be like Moses?
Can you hear me now, Platt?
Yeah, I hear you. Hold up. Are you going to be like Moses? Are you going to stand up for freedom, stand up for truth, and say, let my people go? Or are you going to be a Sambo and go get you some tap shoes and tap dance for the white man so that you can, hey, keep a check coming?
Well, let me say this because I got like maybe 2 or 3 minutes left. But I think you said something earlier. You said that I don't want to hear brothers talk, a truth or whatever you're talking about. Listen, man, this ain't about me. I don't care what somebody talks about on television. I'm just trying to tell you, you cannot do certain things. Like you can't talk a certain way on television, man. You just can't do it because it could be offensive to a whole lot of people. You can't go on television talking about some racism stuff, man. Especially if you're a black man.
Hold up. So if it's offensive, you shouldn't do it?
Nah, man. It depends on the storyline. You can't.
No. If something is offensive, you shouldn't do it on national TV, right?
Of course, it doesn't matter who you are, Platinum. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, so wait.
It doesn't matter who you are.
So if you're a black person and your
It
toe
ain't got nothing to do with
tapping.
you being black.
Wait a minute. If you a black person and you on national TV and all of your bojangling samboing is offensive to black people, that should matter too. So a
Nobody.
network should say, wait a minute, a network should say, hey, we don't want Ryan Clark. He's too radical, but we also don't want these Sambos because
Ain't
they're
nobody
offensive.
doing none of that,
Wait,
man.
wait a minute. They're offensive to our black audience, right?
Ain't nobody. Doc, Platinum. What I'm trying to tell you is, ain't nobody doing no samboing and none of that stuff
A
matters.
whole lot of that going on. What are you talking
No, it's
about?
not, man. You just listen, bro. You can't even do that stuff if you work for some news station. You got to just talk about the news, man. There ain't nobody trying to hear about your personal thoughts, man. You cannot do that on national television. Like I said, you can do it on your own platform, like Twitch
Do
or
you know what
something
a
or YouTube or
do
something.
you
But
know what
you cannot be
a
on TV talking this Black
okay?
Panther stuff if that's what you're talking about. Talking about
Do
racism,
you
man. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, dog.
do you know what an editorial page is?
Editorial. I mean, what are you
Yeah, don't
talking
worry
about?
about
Like
it.
monologues? You talking about monologues or something
No,
like that?
it's an opinion page. So if somebody pays you for your opinion, you should give it.
That's
Oh man, it's crazy.
that's not
Listen,
Sports Center.
hold on. But do business.
That's not
You
Sports Center.
you have shown the world the spider web, the racial spider web a black person has to crawl.
Ain't no racial
Because no,
nothing,
yes,
man. That's what I'm trying
yes,
to tell you, man.
yes, it is. Because the truth, you can't say, "Hey, what you gonna do?" I'm just gonna tell the truth. The white
About
man,
what?
the
You tell
black
the truth
man,
about what?
the black man has to find out the truth, then sanitize that truth by saying, "Okay, how can I say this without pissing the world off?"
It's not a listen, man. Everybody can't say. Listen, you can't just. What I'm trying to say is that you cannot satisfy everyone. But what I am trying to tell you is that when you on national TV, bro, okay, national TV, even people like Ron Artest understand what I'm saying, bro. He said it out of his own mouth. You cannot say certain things on national television, bro. You cannot do that. Those are the rules.
Well,
Anyone that
Ron Artest,
everybody knows this
the
that works
least,
in media, man. You can't say certain things, bro.
the last thing you're worried about with Ron Artest is what he says. That's the least of your
I
worries.
mean, I get it. He ain't all the way there, but he was all
With
the way there
Ron
when he said that.
Artest.
I understand he ain't all the way there in the head, but dog, all I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes people be looking too deep into stuff and coming up with these conspiracy theories about some little small stuff, man. So, like I said, I don't know exactly what Ryan Clark said or what he was talking about because they said he got fired live on air. They told him to go ahead. I mean, if that happened, it is what it is. They didn't want you there no more for whatever reason. You gotta take that and shake it off and keep it moving. They got a very successful show, the Pivot Podcast. You know, Fred Taylor is probably the realest one on that because the Channing Crowder dude, he be kind of goofy sometimes, but you know he alright sometimes too. He be still acting like
I think he should leave the Pivot.
somebody Channing Crowder.
Ryan Clark.
I mean, that's his choice, man. If he want to do that, but they got a good thing going.
No, this is a sign for Ryan to strike out on your own. And look, hold up, in do business.
Mm-hmm.
He's been hiding on the Pivot.
What you talking about, Ryan Clark?
He hides behind those guys. Yeah.
Nah, man. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, man. No, do business. Yes, man.
You don't know what
yes, man. He's been hiding on the Pivot. Ryan, get away from the Pivot. Start your own thing. Nothing against the Pivot. Let them do their thing. Let them replace you with somebody behind you, but you don't need to pivot.
Well, let me say this right quick.
Ryan, you deserve $70, $100 million a year, just like a Pat McAfee, and you know you do.
Well, that's not going.
Why don't you put yourself in a position like McAfee? Start your own stuff. McAfee didn't run out there and grab a bunch of people with him. He interviews. I mean, he's got connections to a lot of people. McAfee didn't say, "Hey, Peyton," or "Hey, this player, come do this podcast with me." No, McAfee. See, that's what I'm saying. McAfee put it on himself. So you got to see the blueprint. And Ryan, you know you better. I know you better than McAfee. You're better
Man,
personality, period, across the
ain't
board.
damn one of them no better than no.
I'm
Look,
done.
man,
I'm done. I
you
quit.
tripping, bro. That's what I'm
I
trying to tell
quit.
you.
I quit.
Pat
I
McAfee
give
is not
up.
better than him, and he's not like that stuff. Ain't no competition in commentary, man.
Bro,
Yeah,
that man finna make $100 million a year.
and your point means what?
Do business, you making $15 an hour. That
I
man
mean
finna
more
make
than that.
$100 million a year. How can
And
you
your
say
point
there's
is
no
what?
competition? I quit, man. Do business,
What's
I
your
quit.
point,
I
man?
give up.
He
I
got
don't
his
have.
own show.
I don't have one. I don't have a point. You're right.
No, I ain't saying you don't have a point. I'm just giving you my point. Platinum, I can say the same thing about myself on YouTube. Listen, man, I got respect for you. That's why I talk to you. But there's a lot of dudes on YouTube that are clowns. A lot of content creators that are clowns. So I can say the same thing for myself. I should go rogue and do my own thing. All the crazy people I done talked to on all these other
Well,
platforms.
what's stopping you?
Nothing. It's coming. I'm setting it up real nice.
Well, we'll help you with it, man.
Oh, I already know I'm gonna get my stuff popping, but that's not the point. What I'm saying is that
it's gonna be that easy,
it's
huh?
okay to chop it up with other people.
Hold on. It's that easy, huh? Do business.
Depending on the topic, yeah. Because I mean, it's already people that know about me. I already got subscribers, and I ain't even been making no videos for real.
Wow.
So I mean, it really ain't that hard to get it popping if you got the personality and the charisma.
It's easy, man.
It's really not that hard, dude.
Anybody can do it.
Anyone can do it. That's my Nick. We agree. Anyone could do it, man. But I don't never come to your show to try to blow it up or nothing like that. I come here because I got respect.
I wish you would, man. We need some viewership. Come on, blow it up.
Well, I'm talking about it. You know, I ain't trying
blow
to
up the spot, bro. We need somebody to look at this.
Man, Platinum, you already got subscribers, man. I'm just saying, man. Everybody ain't always so cool that come to your channel. So I got respect for you. We could chop it up all day, but a lot of dudes that be coming on here, they really just get on your nerves. That's why I snapped the other day. So I'm kind of glad you're talking about sports, because a lot of times when you talk about certain things, it just brings a lot of goofies and clowns. But the shout out to you, Platinum. I got to get up out of here, man. I'll keep watching though.
All right, and take care of yourself, brother, and protect yourself on these roads, man. We have some truckers. A lot of these guys be on the job. They be driving, man. You know how hard that is?
Yeah.
No. You know how hard it is to be out there looking through that window. And what if somebody jump out there? What if people can't drive? What if somebody pull out in front of you?
Yeah,
you got a load behind you, and you got to hit them brakes, man. And you're responsible for the back of that trailer. You can't let that thing twist and hit a car. Hard job, man. Hats off to the do businesses and all the truckers out there. Hats off to you. Hats off to you guys, man. You guys keep us fed. You put those supplies in the Walmarts and all the places. We had and we got a short memory. We had a winter storm, and I think it went 7 days, and then they started talking about if it goes another 7, supplies. The truckers was out there frozen. They were saying we had to get replenishment. So you can say, hey, I'm gonna run to the store, get my bread, my milk, my flour, and I'm gonna wait it out for 7 days. But they say after 7 days, remember, that's you and everybody else. People want to go, even they want to go back to the store, and they say, okay, where's our milk and flour and all that? Well, we can't get it in there. Why not? Truckers snowed out. Okay, another 7 days. Ain't no milk, ain't no flour, your kids. Where's the food? Truckers snowed out. So truckers keep us going, man. Hats off to the truckers out there. They keep us going. We need them. We need them. Now, McAfee won an Emmy. Pat McAfee, man. He's going to get his money. Ryan Clark got shown the door. And I'm telling you guys, you don't like Ryan Clark, but what is there not to like about the brother? That is a brother. And we've been through this over and over and over and over. What's wrong with a black man asking to be treated fairly? When did that become such a problem? Why does that bother you? A black man says, treat me like a man. Be fair to me. The white supremacist says, no, that ain't gonna work. You're fired. Pat, let's negotiate your contract. You want $100 million a year? Come on. Isn't that something? $100 million a year for the Pat McAfee show. So it matters, man. Believe me, your opinion matters. It matters to ESPN. The white supremacists, though, they don't like a black man with a grievance, though. If you come in talking about injustice and Black Lives Matter, you're woke. We got to get rid of you. We're tired of these woke Negroes coming in here ruining everything. And ESPN don't realize they really dropped the ball on this because no, I'm looking at my chat. I didn't know Ryan created that type of hostility. I didn't know that. I'm serious. I did not know Ryan Clark because a lot of these people they got some hurt feelings, bro, when it comes to Ryan Clark. Say he should have shut his mouth up. He chose not to do that, man. Like the stream, man. We turn in the corner. It's Friday. We turn in the corner. Let me see. Friday in America. What we looking at? We got what? What we got? Let me look at this calendar right here. Hold up. Oh, I just reminded myself. Oh, we got to talk about this. Right here. Boom. I went to hit my date and my notifications popped up and Adrian Browner was right there. Adrian Browner. Now, you know they got this Twitch stream, right? You got Adrian Browner and a guy called Dean the Great, two brothers. And they're on Twitch. And Adrian does a lot of gaming on women, right? I'm very familiar with his style, not my style, his style. When I was young, I used to have a style like him. But as I become a man, that's not. I know that. I know the folly of that. He's got a bunch of kids and baby mamas, but clearly he doesn't want a relationship with them. So they do this Twitch stream, and in the stream, Adrian is real heavy-handed with the women. Now I'm gonna tell you what I see. I don't. He ain't gonna. And that's what I don't like about this stuff. You can't tell the truth. He's heavy-handed with the women. When you are in a place, nightclub, party, and when women walk by you, you grab at the women, you grab at their hands, you lean your shoulder into their shoulder, you get up under them, you get in their ears. That's heavy-handed. Now, let me say this. Some guys that works. How do you know it works? They don't get sexual harassment and sexual charges brought up against them. So whatever they're doing, it works. But this guy, and I looked at that dude. And I see the shave bumps. I see all of the issues that he has. And these women are filing suit now. They're gonna take that little Twitch money. They finna take it. Yeah, these women are not taking that. Now he made a statement. He says, this is Adrian, right? He's under the pretense that what he does is so wanted by They're married. Now, that's him in court with a lawyer paying out $830,000 for a sexual assault case. Now, that's a grown man that just paid some woman who said he grabbed her in a nightclub. He's paying $830,000, and he's also got to pay his lawyers. Now, that was 2019. Now, 2026, he's saying these are fake allegations, all cause people think I'm rich again and trying to get money from me. I will stop streaming today because none of this was going on when I was just down and out. Well, if you're going to stream and you're going to be heavy handed with women, expect lawsuits to pile up. Because to say this, you act like you don't know women. If they don't want you, you cannot be doing that to them. Now, they may go upstairs with a guy they just met. They're grown women. They can do what they want to do. They may meet your partner and go in the back with him and do A, B, C, and D. But that don't mean you can lay up on them, grab them, pull them. You can't do that, man. And I saw this happening. Now, he didn't. I have no idea. I'm going to stop streaming. You probably need to stop streaming anyhow, brother. I would. I would stop streaming. I don't even understand Negroes because what makes this man think the women have to tolerate his disrespect? Where you getting that at? Look at you, bro. They don't want you. You can't force your. Just imagine that. And I'm saying I'm a man. But imagine you're a man and you go somewhere with your friends and family, and there's a woman who's not your type. Nothing about her, she ain't your type. And she's constantly forcing herself on you. And you saying, listen, I'm good. I'm not interested. Will you leave me alone? And next thing you know, she grabs you again, grabs you on your butt and draws you to her. Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. And that's what this guy was doing. And that's what this guy's going to find out the hard way. He's going to spend more money. He's going to spend more money trying to defend himself on his case. Man, you can't do no shit like that. We in the chat box talking about the Nolan Whale case. Yeah, that's a mistake. And Adrian pretty much got what he deserved. And I can see that. But see, that's the thing. We're in the age of the internet now. The way you move, I know how he moves. I get it. But you can't do that on no stream, man. You cannot be heavy-handed with women and hard macking where you getting in their face. They trying to go around you. You won't let them get around you. You can't do that. And guys said, well, I'm going to do what I want to do. Where you going to get sued? Simple as that. You will be sued. And that's him settling a case. In that case, the woman said he got drunk and he sexually assaulted her. That's what she says. I see him paying almost $1 million in that case. Like the stream, man. Support the platform, man. We'll take your thoughts. We've been going, bro. We're going to keep going. I got to get me a 12-hour, man. I ain't done a marathon theme stream in a minute. I need to get me one. The bigger we get, man, the more they start hating, man. Niggas lying on me. No proof, just lies. They're just lies. You see what I'm saying? You say I need to do a 24-hour. We might have to do that, man. You can make that happen. Tiana Trump's father, you can make that happen. You would have to support the platform, though. We can do a 24-hour stream if you give me 100 Cash App an hour. You and your group get together and just say we're going to put 100 up an hour. I'll give you 24 hours. But we got to support the platform. You ain't willing to support the platform, we can't do it. I got bills just like you, man. I live in the real world. This guy, and I would tell you guys, hey man, do what you got to do, man. You need to, if you didn't get your feel of women when you were 15, 16, or whatever, when you was a young man, I'm talking about friendship, platonic, you know what I mean? If you didn't have a girlfriend, I mean a platonic, 15, you and your girlfriend, y'all just go out to the skating ring, you get picked up by your parents, y'all talk on the phone. You get older and then you turn 18 or whatever, and y'all ain't been together no more. If you didn't experience that, don't wait till you get some money and try to recreate that. It don't work that way. And what I'm saying, this guy right here, this is weak macking. This weak macking. Anytime you trying to get to know women and you get brought up on charges, that in itself tells you your game is weak. Now he on there complaining. And that's what I'm saying. The people who like to see what you do, those are dudes, man. He don't understand. You cannot be like that with women. Kai Cenat did that. Did what? Kai told those women to do that to him. But he left the window open because he's doing, bro. You cannot do. You cannot. I can't go to St. Louis and walk up and down the street, go to the mall, and be laying into women. I can't do that. And then when they don't want to talk to me, I'm grabbing and pawing. I can't do that. Now that's what he does. That's his game. That's his game. That's been his game. He's the tricking and all of that, and that's his game. But see, the tricking gonna get you locked up. Niggas leave that part out. The tricking, that's gonna get you locked up. You're gonna be losing something with that. And the man got a bunch of kids and a bunch of babies. It's like, bro, in this world, you got to figure out who you want to be with. You got to be with one of them. Why? It'll keep you out of them clubs. It'll keep you out of this situation. But you still want to play games, man. You out there just laying up. I see you doing something with Krishan. No telling what she gonna say. No telling. He's helping her box and teaching her how to box, but no telling what she's gonna say about it. He says his wife is up making his coffee while he listens to Platt. There you go, man. Everybody should listen to me, man. Like the stream, brother. NFL training camps have started. Diego Pravio, actually a guy who I actually thought thinks a good quarterback. He needs to go to Frisco. I hope Frisco grabs him up. He's perfect for them. He got cut from the Ravens. Like the stream, brother. Adrian Browner says they're fake allegations. When they see you on these Twitch streams doing the most, they say they took a hopeless alcoholic, put half naked women around him, and hit record. He's about Twitch. Twitch took a hopeless alcoholic, put him in a room full of half naked women, and hit record. And now they're going to send him to jail. Yeah, it looks like. It looks like. They lawyered up, man. They got him. Guys just don't deal with the real world, man. When you bring these women into your mansion, you still can't. You can't touch them. You guys looking at some TV stuff. Guys who have a house full of women, and they have these fun parties, they're not going to be on no Twitch screen. And you guys don't understand that they're going to keep that stuff private. The women don't want their business out there. They're not going to jump on no Twitch stream. Yeah, those charges are pending. This is a terrible look for him. Well, this ain't even a black community. This is a Twitch stream. The black community needs to find out evidence and not listen to lies. Look, brother, let me tell you something. As a man, women are going to accuse you of stuff. That stuff has to be proven. People will lie. You got hating niggas, they'll lie. Bro, you got dudes out here, that's their baby mama. You could be smashing their baby mama. They baby mama, you can stop calling their baby mama because you don't want her no more. She could put out lies on you. Her baby daddy can claim that he being noble, he's coming after you. You didn't do nothing. People lie. But the people that you really had to deal with is the people who don't give you a chance to defend yourself. You really have to wonder what kind of people those are. Anybody can lie. But you got people out here who don't want you to defend yourself. Like the stream, man. Support the platform. Adrian Broner is going to be out more money. That nonsense that they do, him and Dean, that is the biggest bunch of bullshit. Bro, ain't no women. You can't get women doing what they do. I know what they doing. That type of heavy-handed macking, that shit don't work, bro. That's some high school shit. That's some young boy don't know nothing about women shit. I see what they do. Do you think I don't see what they're doing? They saw all of that grabbing and yanking. And they went on the Fresh and Fit. He told the woman he finna send her $1,000. He want to sleep with her. That type of stuff, that don't work. That type of aggressive, loud, that's the wrong way to go. Like the stream, brother. Hit the cash app. Support the platform, man. He says take it to trial. Yeah, he should. He should just take it to trial, man. He's sad to me. I just look at him, bro. He's sad. All that money and to be acting a fool like that, to let women be so instrumental that you putting yourself in jail. You know, he just see. I can't see. I'm a different type of. I can't respect a dude like that. I can't respect the dude that is so obsessed with women that he done went out and got 8 kids from 8 different women. He don't want none of the women. They don't want him, and he out here being heavy handed with women and talking about giving them money. I can't respect. Then he winds up in jail or in trouble. That's his fault. That's his fault. What's up with you, Jr.?
Platt, what's happening, man?
What's up?
Man, what's going on with your boy, man? He can't stay out the news, huh?
Adrian being sued and Ryan got fired.
Yeah, man, with Ryan getting fired, man, I don't know how to feel about it, man. You know, ESPN, go through their round of cuts. Seem like every 2 years they going through cuts, and But I felt like Ryan was bringing a lot to the show, man. But who knows, man? Who knows? It definitely don't look good in the Ryan Clark situation when you know, trying to pay Pat McAfee upwards of like $60 million a year. But
and you get fired.
yeah, it definitely don't look right. But I mean, it was quite a few people that got fired, man. I'm a big baseball fan, man, and the dude, white guy, Carl Ravitch, man, he carried MLB, ESPN
Okay.
MLB, like MLB Today, like show, like NFL Live or MLB Live show. Man, he
Okay.
carried that show for years.
So he was the reason, like you catch up on your baseball, you look for what he was putting out.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was, he was good. He was a good reporter, unbiased in his story. White guy too, so he was unbiased in his opinion and assessment, and he was good, animated, with his commentary and stuff like that. So he was real good too. For me, Ryan Clark, definitely a pillar on the ESPN platform. He was there over a decade, I think. Ryan Clark. So there over a decade, was not afraid to talk about, sensitive topics, especially to the Black community. And it's unfortunate, man, but it does leave a stain on ESPN with the timing. It's like, yeah, you're doing these round of cuts. Pat McAfee coming up on renegotiation of a contract upwards of $60 million, and you're letting a lot of people go, a lot of solid people. And it's another dude from the NFL Network they let go, black guy, Reese Davis. He was with the NFL Network for, man, at least 20 years, black guy, former NFL player. And when that merger happened, ESPN bought NFL Network, stuff like that, they let him go. Bart Scott, second time, former football player, played for the New York Jets. Famous quote for saying it was like a interview. They had won like a playoff game or something. They were supposed to go be playing, I guess, like the Patriots or something. And the reporter asked him, he was like, "Yeah, can't wait." So that's like a famous soundbite of his, Bart Scott. But yeah, he was with the ESPN network, for a little bit. And this is second time getting fired. I remember I used to listen to his show when I would be in between patients. And he had a show, it was called Bart and Hahn radio show. Real good, funny stuff. Him and a white guy, just cracking jokes, covering, sports stories or whatever like that. They canceled that show. They were gone for like a year. Then ESPN obviously hired them back, fired them again. So it's unfortunate, man, but it does look bad for ESPN again with Pat McAfee, $60 million a year.
Yeah, but
I
there's
don't watch the Pat McAfee show or whatever like that, but it must draw some type of audience if he able to even sit at the table and say, "Nah, $60 million a year." At first, I was like, "Oh, it must be the length of the contract, $60 million." No, they saying $60 million annually. I was like, "That's crazy." Like, you getting paid Dak Prescott money. So I was like, hey, Stephen A. Smith ain't even sniffing that. What, Stephen A. Smith's last contract was, 5 years, 100 million or something like that?
Okay.
So he damn near doubling Stephen A. Smith.
Man, that's the world we live in, man. I think he brought a black perspective to a space that didn't want it. And that's why he's gone.
I can see that.
Yeah. Telling the truth. That's what I mean. The black man's burden. Telling the truth. Black man that's a crossroad for a lot of people. And so you see why you got a lot of black people samboing and and Bojangling to keep that job, keep that position.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that's why I said, man, it's I don't know, man. They try, it's like it's almost like it's under the guise of, oh yeah, no, this is what we do. ESPN, we just make these cuts and stuff like that. Man, but Marcus Spears still there, so hopefully Marcus Spears can, continue to carry the torch and be unapologetic and speak about cultural Black issues, when they come up, not shy away from it. But it make you think for sure. It definitely makes you think. Like man, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll hire Michael Irvin. That's what somebody in the chat said.
I doubt it.
Why not? Why not?
They ain't bringing Mike back, man.
Why not?
He ain't coming back, man.
He's a Black voice and he stands up for Black people.
Nah, I don't see it happening, dog. Mike Irvin ain't coming back, dog.
I don't know who they're gonna get, bro.
I don't know, man. They'll probably go younger for sure. It seemed like that's the direction ESPN is going. I haven't since retiring from the military, and I get up early. You got your early routine. You get up, you getting yourself prepared, getting the kids ready, stuff like that, and it's on in the background. ESPN, just to catch up with stuff. If I fell asleep early, I didn't get to watch the rest of the game. Just try to catch up on the sports that mean something to me at least. So it'd be on in the background, but I've noticed that they've gone younger. It's just younger, and it's a lot of younger journalists and I guess people trying to cut their teeth, make a name for themselves. Stuff like that. But honestly, I haven't really watched the ESPN platform like Sports Center or NFL Live or any of those shows. Man, I haven't watched it in probably over a year, kind of thing. So, definitely, I would say bigger horizons for Ryan Clark, man. I tap in with their podcast with him and Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder. I tap in with that. When they have certain guests on there that pique my interest, I definitely tap in and watch. They do a great job of facilitating the interview, stuff like that. But yeah, to me, ESPN it's like a dying situation with ESPN, because I don't even see how Stephen A. Smith can keep boasting about I got the #1 show and stuff like that. I mean, you very well may have it from a metric standpoint, but I gotta think the viewership is down because people can consume sports and entertainment so many different ways now. We pop on YouTube. We can listen to you talk about sports, Black. It's so many different outlets of it now. Because they motto used to be worldwide leader in sports. They didn't cut that. I haven't heard that from ESPN in quite some time. It's just ESPN. It's no longer worldwide leader in sports. I remember growing up seeing that come across the TV. ESPN, worldwide leader in sports. They can't even say that no more. You can't brand it like that no more because you're not the worldwide leader in sports. There's so many other different sports outlets where people get information from now.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's kind of a dying breed, to say the least. But yeah, man, it's gonna be bigger and better horizons for Ryan Clark. And then Cam Newton was just kind of getting his foot in the door. I appreciated Cam Newton's commentary and how colorful he was with describing things, and it made it funny every so often. You see a little clip or something like that. Of him and Stephen A. going back and forth, but he was still early in it, so it's no love lost for him. But we'll see what it looks like. But $60 million, You know, it made me think like, man, what kind of numbers Pat McAfee bringing in for real? If it's 60 million a year, that's crazy.
I got you, bro. And we're gonna let you have the last word on that, JR. Um, don't be a stranger, brother. We talked about it for 3 hours. And I got to get into some stuff this morning, unfortunately. And I've been into a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to stream on a regular basis, but we're going to get back to it. But I have to do this stuff. If I don't do this, it'll be detrimental to me. So I got to shut this down now. And we can always continue the conversation. But I stand on it. Ryan Kroc, as a black man, you carry a certain burden that your fellow workers, they don't have to worry about stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate. It's totally unfortunate that we don't respect each other. We mistreat each other. You look at a Ryan Clark, you look at a Pat McAfee, man, it's insane that they would give him a $75 million contract and they say Ryan Clark hit the door. That's the world we live in, though, man. We didn't ask for it, but that's what it became. Like, share, support, man. We can go ahead and shut this down. Hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat. Plat for Game. It's right there in front of you.